Live from beautiful downtown Bastrop, it's time for the Stage Select, starring Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
What could this possibly be? Seems a lot like a podcast. Wonder what specifically. Talking about video games. With your hosts, you're in good hands. Not more of the same. Now we'll jump right in. So expect the unexpected and more. Now we'll get grooving. Never know who's gonna walk through the door. There just might be some treasure in this chest. Having fun with our special guest. Time for Stage Select.
With special guest, Westen from Big Nerd Gaming. And here are your hosts, Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
Welcome, one and all, to the Stage Select. I'm Julian Titus.
And I'm Justin Ham. I had a dream last night. It was a not a memorable dream, but it did have one bit that I remember, and it was used multiple times, and both times were really great. And it was the bit of a pot was presented, right? It was a pot, like a cooking pot. I don't know what else, other kinds of pots there are. I'm sure there are other ones.
Planting pot.
Yeah, that was immediately what came to mind. But this was a cooking pot, and a man who I would just call the narrator of the dream would be like, "You thought it was cooking, but it was snakes." And then he would reveal that the pot was filled with snakes. And this happened twice, and both times just killed. It was great.
Yeah.
What made it funnier is what it was that it wasn't always just snakes. Like there was like a random dog in one of them, but he was fine. Like the snakes weren't bothering him. He was just having, he was just having a dog time in there. There were other animals. It was weird, but also snakes, especially snakes. And that was my dream I had. That doesn't really lead into anything else. But Westen is here. Hi, Westen. You thought it was cooking, but it was Westen.
What's up, guys? Now that
Hi.
I heard about, obviously in the last pod, Justin being able to smoke during the pod now, and it just,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this podcast really needs more of a video element now because it just really adds the aesthetic. It's just kind of
really
perfect.
good.
It's just kind of perfect.
Yeah. It's not as good as when we first started podcasting together, because when we first started podcasting together, he was living with his grandmother.
Yep.
and he had a basement set up.
Yeah.
And the lighting situation was such that you really only could see his, like, just the flesh of his face because the beard covers so much.
Yeah.
And then he has the cap on always, and then just the smoke emanating from the darkness. Right. And it was a very, it was a vibe.
It's very intimidating.
Sure. He looks like he should be giving me a side quest, like, for sure.
Yeah, it's good. I have a fish on my hat. Nobody can see it. It's the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
Yeah,
it's great to be back. I'm always pleased to join you guys. It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah. Especially this week, because we'll just jump right into it. Westen, you did a thing.
Yeah, I finally launched the podcast. It's just, I've been wanting to do it for a while. I mean, really, from the first couple of podcast appearances I've made, between you and my friend Andre Spod, and finally did it. I think, the production element was pretty intimidating, so it was hard. Eventually, I just had to do it. I think I on Prime Day, which is probably a fraud, but whatever. I bought a mic that Julian recommended to me, and I think it sat in its box for roughly 2 months, but eventually the shame compelled me to start the podcast. So, yep, it is.
That's how it goes.
And also a DM from me saying, "Hey, let me know when you start the show so I can promote it on our show." And you were like, "Oh, I should probably do that then."
I appreciated that DM. It was much needed because, man, it's just, it's tough. You want to put out a good product, right? And your first time doing really anything, it's not going to be the best it could be. And I feel like I've established the blog pretty well now, and it's just like I know this podcast is not going to be as well produced as your podcast or other gaming podcasts, but there just comes a point where you just got to do it, So shame and
That's how
peer
you
pressure
learn.
made it happen. Right.
Jump in.
Right. So it's just every episode I'm trying to make it better. So yeah, it's on YouTube and Spotify right now. Slowly trying to figure out putting it on more platforms. So just
That was going to be my first question, because I don't use Spotify and I don't typically use YouTube for listening to stuff. So I did put it on in the background at work, like when it came out, which was fine. But then I've got like the distraction of like, but it's a video, so I'm trying to like watch the video, but I have to work. So personally, I will appreciate it when it's in a podcatcher that I use.
That's pretty easy to do too.
Cool.
Easier than you think it is.
That
Yeah, I
one and
promise.
timestamps are my goals for the next one. Then we'll go from there. So good to know. Good to know.
Just know that Apple doesn't really pay attention to anything on it, so you're fine.
Perfect.
You can put out anything. It's fine.
Yeah, I was surprised because I felt that the first episode would have been at least a mention of playing games on hard mode, and I don't think it got mentioned once, and I was shocked. I thought it was going to be a very different type of energy for your podcast. I was expecting something a lot more aggressive.
I'm sucking the people in, and then I'm going to make my hard turn at some point.
There you go.
There you go.
That's the way to do it.
That's how you do it.
That way, it gets more
heel turn.
headlines. It's like, oh, this, yeah. So don't worry, it's coming. I'm not going to tell the listeners, but it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the nice thing these days is that the overall tech is much better than it was when I started, because like the first years of Nerds Without Pants sound like shit.
Well, you'll have that.
Yeah. I mean, part of that was on me for not like, I probably should have upgraded my microphone earlier than I did, but it was also like I didn't start editing the individual tracks for a really long time.
It also got thrust upon you, if I remember correctly.
It did, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess no, I'm not going to say that, because I was going to say that I was never sure like how long the show was going to last, but there was never really a thought of me stopping it. Like even as co-hosts came and went, we just like fill the chair and keep going,
right?
But the quality of the show, like as far as like just the production quality, right? Like I think what was being said and the discussions being had were always very good, even from the jump. But the actual like what was going into your ear hole was not great for a really long time. And these days, like because like Westen and the mic that I recommended to you is like I think one of the best entry level. Not entry level. It's one of the best mid-tier mics, right? Like it's not like the cheapest get the job done mic, but it's also not like some ridiculous like $200-300.
Oh, it's the one I started out on, and it does a real good job. It's very easy to set up. It's very easy to do things, and it sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good enough.
And they last a long
time.
They
last a long time.
I went through 2 of them, but I've still got my most recent one just in case.
I still have mine just in case somewhere. Now I have 2 of these fucking things.
I'm sure one day you'll get a DM like, all right, Julian, I'm ready for the next step up. So let's go.
Yeah.
Take me there. But yeah, I'm using this program called Riverside. It's like crazy. It's all the text from what you say is right there. You can edit it really easily. It's I was very intimidated, and it's a little bit of work, and I'm sure I'll get faster at it. But yeah, hopefully it's okay. But yeah, it's on said hopefully more platforms soon. It's just once a month, so nothing crazy, like an hour and a half. So not too much. Too much time. But yeah, just briefly talking about games we're playing, and then the hook is we rank stuff, because that's just what I do. So
there you go.
Love to have you guys on. I'm not sure what we'd rank. I don't know what would be the thing that you guys would want to rank, but
snakes,
yes.
Different snakes, different kinds of snakes.
No,
it won't be about video games, just about snakes.
I promise when we come on your show, we'll be very serious, Westen, and we won't do any shtick.
Yeah, it could be interesting. It's a very different show. I'm not funny, and I don't have bits, so it is what it is.
I have to admit, I was taken aback by host Westen energy. It was very different from guest Westen energy, but you kind of have to do that because it occurred to me I was gonna give you more shit about it, but then I was like, no, but you know what? When I guest on podcasts, it's a different energy than when I'm in the driver's seat.
Yeah, when you're in host mode, it's a whole different thing. You gotta be able to steer the ship. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, I pull it way back when I'm on other people's shows. Like I don't say most of the stuff that I would probably say because I'm like, I don't want to take over. It's not my show. So, it's not my platform. So I'll really bring it back. And I also bring the energy down to wherever their show is. But yeah, no, I mean, congratulations. Honestly, because you were like, oh, I'd really love to come on the show and kind of promote it. And one thing, with you doing the monthly format and kind of like a 90-minute-ish format, I was like, okay, I feel more confident and comfortable promoting
I was thinking that.
the show after one episode, because my thing is like, let's let them get a few in the can before, because like so many podcasts will burn out after a few episodes. But I think with you doing what you're doing, like that's a much more sustainable thing. And then if you decide to go to a bi-weekly or weekly thing later on, once you know like the ins and outs of it, that's up to you and whatnot. But yeah, you're kind of slumming it with us, dude. Like you already have blown us out of the water in like one episode. So
but you have a devoted
you have
a devoted fan base of people who pay money. So I do not have the balls. I can't handle the pressure, let's just say, of asking people for money because I feel like I'd fuck up. So, I respect what you guys do and you put out a quality product. So, and yeah, I mean, you could do both, right? Because I'm not doing as much. The blog's still my main focus, but it's just a nice extension of it to be able to have some friends on and talk about things and maybe find, some new people through a new platform. So, really excited about it. And excited to have you guys on eventually.
Oh, absolutely. Excellent. Yeah. I mean, that's been one of the coolest things is like making friends through the podcasting thing, right? Like, I mean, Justin was a listener before he was a co-host. Mike Fallick, Bill Tucker, you, James and JJ over at Retrofits, like all people that I've just met through doing this, and it's been a lot of fun. Some of those are like, like I've known Mike for fucking I think it might be 10 years now. I think it might have been 2016.
Yeah, sounds about right. Because he was on the show,
Yeah. Like the first,
way before
I was on his show first, and then he came on ours. So yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it grow and seeing it change. You'll find like your flow as far as like, it'll take a bit before you're like comfortable with like your intro and outro and how you want to like go in from section to section and whatnot.
Verbal tics, that's the big one, is noticing all the verbal tics. So that's my other goal right now, is cutting some of those out.
Yeah. I wish that after 14 years of podcasting, I was better at not making the verbal tics to begin with. But what I've found is that it's the format. I think if we were all in a room together, I would have fewer of the ums and buts and likes, because I've noticed that I don't do it as often when I'm in person. But when I'm just talking like this, it happens a lot. And so, yeah, I cut a shit ton of it. You don't have to go as crazy as I do. I think most people don't put as much like flair on their shows as I do.
I always like to leave it all in because it makes it sound natural, but that's me.
Yeah,
it depends. Whatever your style is.
There's still some that is I leave in there because cutting it out would make it sound unnatural. So there are very specific ones that are left in because cutting it would make it worse.
You can get rid of some. Some of them are easy to get rid of, but yeah.
Justin's ums look like Louisiana.
There you go.
It's kind of cool.
That's cool. I didn't know it looked like a state, but that's neat.
Yeah. You edit audio long enough and you can just tell. Just look at it. I know what my ums look like. I know what my likes look like.
Sure.
It's kind of fun. Now my big thing is trying to get rid of as many of my stutters as I can.
Yeah.
Because that's
People don't notice your like Andres, who was on my first show, was like, "Oh, I said a lot," and I was like, "I actually didn't notice that," and I spent a lot of time in that podcast editing it.
Yeah.
So I noticed all mine. So I guess that is also part of it, unless it's like really bad. Unless
To be fair, like that's just how people talk,
Right.
all the time. That's just your brain doesn't even really think about it after a while. It's honestly, I notice it more when people don't do it because it sounds robotic to me. If that makes sense, like I feel like it's not a natural conversation or anything. Like I'm just like, these are just robots having a conversation. I don't like it, and I get very off put by it. And that's me. But
or corporate tools.
Yeah, it's these people practiced in front of a mirror for hours saying this exact thing to each other, and now they're doing it for realsies. And I don't know.
Or they have like extensive media training, which is the same thing to me.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
It just sounds so...
Exactly. You're a media robot, and it's off-putting.
I agree.
Yeah,
I love making fun of that shit.
right.
The non-answers to questions.
Oh yeah.
Well, real quick before we jump into it, there's just one thing that I needed to get off my chest before we get into games and stuff like that. Gentlemen, the 7-layer burrito is back. And it is a time for rejoicing.
I've never had one.
Oh my God.
What's that?
I myself consumed 2 7-layer burritos last night, and I'm pleased to report that they're just as good as they always were, and they've been gone for way too long.
What's it have in it?
So it's everything in the 5-layer burrito plus sour cream and guacamole, and those missing 2 layers are everything.
See, I don't know. I'm uneasy by I'm not a big sour cream guy, nor am I a big guacamole guy. So I feel like I can live without those 2 layers personally.
Well, then, yeah, you just stick to your 5-layer. That's fine.
I don't even really like the 5-layer that much, but that's me.
Then you really are lost.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
You were supposed to bring balance to the force.
No, I'm chaos. What are you talking about?
They also brought back the Cool Ranch Doritos Locos Taco, and I've always been, why did you get rid of that anyway? But
yeah, that was.
I guess it's because most of the country is wrong, and they think that the nacho cheese flavor is the correct one.
Yeah, probably. I forgot they still had the nacho cheese one. That's why I didn't even notice it went away. That's the thing. Yeah. What are you gonna do? What's to be done?
I mean, I'm gonna eat more 7-layer burritos. God damn it!
I haven't eaten Taco Bell in like a month.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm proud of you.
Taco Bell's fine. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's never great.
No, I know, but
I had been jonesing for the 7-layer burrito for like a decade because it was like my go-to order.
I found I liked the Cantina chicken stuff. That stuff's pretty good. Yeah. They'll probably get rid of it the next time I go to order Taco Bell, though. It just seems like something that's not going to last,
Well, their whole thing lately is they've been cycling out their menu a lot.
That's
like,
what I mean.
They have like their limited. They're taking the like Japanese McDonald's model of we've got this limited menu and then it's going to be gone. Because same thing here. It's like it's their Y2K menu, and then I know it'll be gone in a month or two.
Probably.
So, I need to show them that the 7-layer burrito is still popular. That's what I did. So, like Quiznos, when I worked at the mall, got rid of the chicken carbonara sub.
Okay.
And then it came back, and I was like, I'm going to eat a chicken carbonara every fucking day. And I did.
Yeah.
And then it stayed on the menu, and I was like, yeah, I contributed to that.
Okay. Well, you did your part.
Like
Good job.
Oh, yeah. I did my part.
Yeah, you did. You did. Good for you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, Westen, I feel that we should lead with you for games because you've been killing it over at Big Nerd Gaming. You've been playing a lot of things. We have not been playing lots of things.
Yeah.
It's been a weird year.
It has been.
I I didn't get to the Silksong part of your podcast last week. I've been having a hard time listening to podcasts since I had my second kid. So
Mhm.
did I? Well,
Oh, you didn't hear the bit.
oh, it was a bit. Okay, I thought it might be a bit. I had
Yeah.
a suspicion. I had a sneaky suspicion.
I bought Shadow Labyrinth specifically to say that was the big Metroidvania that everybody was
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
That's a good reveal. I like that bit. That was good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've been playing.
Really good game too. I
Yeah.
actually really enjoy Shadow Labyrinth. I will be finishing that.
That era, the Xbox Live Arcade era of Metroidvanias, so much good shit. So I mean, Outland, another great one if you've ever played it. Highly recommend it. It's I don't know how to pronounce it. It's got that Ikarguru like kind of bullet hell stuff going on. Same
Oh
makers as Returnal. So Housemark, I believe.
yeah. No, but this is a new game. This is that one it's Pac-Man but not Pac-Man.
Oh, I was thinking Shadow Complex for a second, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No,
Also an excellent search action game.
yes, for sure. But yeah, Silksong, I've been playing it. It's good, and
Okay.
I hate it sometimes, but I'm very
I've
engrossed
heard
at other
it's
times.
a difficult game.
Yeah, and the crazy part about it is, usually with Souls adjacent, like I don't know if this, you know how Souls fans are. They
Sure.
get all weird about it, but these type of games, like usually it's the bosses. That's the hard part. Like with
Yeah.
all these games, when I abandon them, it's always a boss, and I feel like the bosses in Silksong are extremely fair. Like
Okay.
the attack patterns are all pretty transparent. Like your first couple times, I've beaten a couple bosses the second, third time, and like not
Mm.
pretty telegraphed attack patterns, which is great. I like the boss fights, and I fought one of the harder ones end of Act 1 last night, and it was difficult, but like I felt myself getting better every time, which because of the way the attack patterns are. So that's awesome.
Sure.
Really enjoying the boss fights. The run backs and a couple other things are off-putting. Bench placement where you can rest, still frustrating. Like
Yeah, that seemed like a thing when I was playing Hollowknight. That was kind of frustrating. Yeah.
I feel
I gotta say, Weston, I was pretty disappointed when I saw that you played Silksong, because I had seen that you had not played Hollowknight, because I had not played Hollowknight until this year, and that was because people paid us to play it.
that's so funny.
Because it was just it did not look like a game that I was interested in, and it turns out it fucking wasn't.
Yeah.
But then I saw you play, I was like, oh man, I thought we were going to be in solidarity on that.
I liked Hollow Knight until I abandoned it. I did play it. I just didn't finish it. Because
well, there you
okay,
go.
I thought you were also in the same camp as
I was
me.
having a good time with it, but some of the run backs, I feel like I haven't gotten quite as lost in this game for whatever reason. I don't.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, I don't know why Team Cherry hates Metroidvania maps. Like they despise them. They don't even want them in the game, in my opinion. Like in their platonic ideal of a world, like there's no Metroidvania maps in their Metroidvania, but they
Yeah.
it's that kind of stuff frustrates me. Said the run backs, they're flying enemies are pretty annoying. Like they're always just kind of scuttering away, and they're just super annoying to fight. There's horde fights where you got to fight like 2 enemies at once, and then there's another 2 enemies that come up. Those are almost harder than the boss fights sometimes.
I believe it.
But
Yeah. So obviously, like pretty much all of HoloLive is playing this simultaneously. So at any given moment, I can just tune in and to a stream, and someone's streaming it. And I've tuned in to multiple streams for a few minutes here and there, and every time that I see them playing it, I'm just like, that just looks fucking annoying. Like it's not the bosses. Like from what I've seen, it is just like regular enemies that are just like needlessly like punishing, and their patterns are like almost designed to make you fuck up. And then the platforming also is just like super like 14-year-old reflexes required, really.
Yeah.
And then I saw a clip where Koseki Bibu was desperately looking for a bench, and she saw like the signs leading her to a bench, and she went to go sit down on the bench, and then the floor caves, it like breaks under her, and it was like a fake bench, and I'm like, fuck you guys. Yeah. That's the type of shit, and From does that sometimes in their games, but that's the type of shit that I really don't like about their games, where it's like we're just here fucking with you. We're just here fucking with you.
I feel like that shit's purely there for the streamers. Like if I was watching a stream and
It
someone
is.
did that, it'd be hilarious, right? But when I'm just in my home playing it, it sucks. Like it's not really that funny in that. It's only funny if it happens to somebody else, right? So
exactly, yeah. It was a very funny clip, but then after I watched it, I was like, "There's no fucking way I'm ever touching this game."
Right.
There's a pogo mechanic in the game, and at least at the start, it's a diagonal dive, and it's very odd. And like I've gotten accustomed to it, but I still just never feel quite right using it. So that's another. Apparently, there's other classes, and you can have a more traditional pogo. I haven't found it. You know, the Metroidvania map. It's easy to miss stuff unless you're maybe using a guide or just like obsessively searching for everything. Because certain sections, even in the game, don't show up on the map, or the map's not the clearest. You know, it's not the best Metroidvania map. So it can be frustrating, but man, there's just like there's a mystique to it, is what I've said. Is it's just you just don't know what's coming. The atmosphere is really incredible, like the environments, the music. I mean, I don't really care about the lore, but it's just kind of cool. Like it's different. You know, great boss fights, and you know when you make that little bit of progress, like you got to scratch and claw. You know, just to unlock a freaking bench. You know, it'll be like 30 rosaries, and you might not even have them, and you got to go find some. It's kind of stupid, but man, like when you make progress, it feels good.
Wait, you have to unlock the benches. You can't just find them.
A good chunk of them. And in fact, I've made it to Act 2, and there are some benches that each time you have to pay for them.
Fuck that. No, sir.
Listen, I could list. Here's the thing, though. When I talk about my complaints of the game, they're almost all design decisions for the most part. Like the core mechanics, like I'm having fun with the platforming. I mean, the combat's awesome. The enemy design is great. There's some really cool attack patterns. Like some of the flying enemies in particular, I find annoying. The ones on the ground, there's some pretty fun duels with just random enemies sometimes, where it's just like, damn, like we went at it. Like it was a good fight, you know, and it's really good. There's times where I'm just in love with it, and then there's times where I'm pissed off, but I haven't even come close to thinking about abandoning it. And I've never beaten a Souls-like. As much as you make fun of me for being a hard mode bro, the Souls-like games, for whatever reason, there's always a point where I'm just like, I'm done. And I have not felt even close to that point here, even though there's been a few tough parts. So for what it's worth.
But Weston, I've seen a lot of people that have quit the game already. And you're still going.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I know. Maybe I'll beat Elden Ring after this. I mean, you've beaten Elden Ring. So.
Yeah.
You know,
but Elden Ring, notoriously the easiest of the From Soft
games.
Yeah, you know, in retrospect, I got to the Fire Giant, and there was some boss that just fucked me up. And I think I was just done with the game at that point. I was like 50 hours in or something.
That's
and the Fire Giant is like the end.
That's
almost
just about the end. Yeah,
he's like the third to last boss, really, as far as like
main stuff
path
goes. Yeah, critical
you know
path.
what?
Yeah.
Maybe I was fighting an optional boss that was fucking me up, but that's what made me quit. But I didn't know it was an optional boss.
Probably,
it's because Elden Ring doesn't fucking tell you.
Very likely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's usually the boss fights that there's just one that I hate, and there's been tougher boss fights, but it's always the run back that I hate more than the actual boss fight. Like I'm having a blast with the boss fights. I think they're really well made, and I think, you know, they'll definitely challenge you, but I think those are pretty attainable for the most part. But I feel like I'm better at 2D games, than 3D for what it's worth. So it's really good, but I do hate it often.
There you go. Makes sense.
I on Blue Sky, I know that I've been saying it's intoxicating and grating.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Because I mean when we played Hollowknight for the Suffer Select, like my big thing was the map design and just the way that they implemented or didn't implement like the mapping system, right? So from what I've heard from people talking about Silksong, it does seem that like you can make progress in different directions, where I felt that with Hollowknight there was like kind of a way that you had to go, and just the way that the levels were drawn and the way that like the map doesn't actually update as you're exploring were two factors that really pushed me away from it, because I'm like, 1994, we got the first one of these games that had a map that updates as you explore. So like at this point, it's just like an egregious, like we just don't like it, and it's like, okay, well, but I do, so maybe make that an option. Like,
but what if you paid currency in the game, Julian, to have a feature like that?
But it's still not a good map. Like I bought the map and it's like, oh wait, this isn't telling me shit.
Well, Julian, you have to pay more, and then it'll eventually tell you some things.
Yeah,
It's a commentary on
I know.
microtransactions. It's trying to tell us something.
There you go.
right?
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, you have to use one of your crests to know where you are on the map. It's
Right.
stupid as shit. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
there's someone out there that's not using that, but I mean I think 90% of people are. What's the point? Like everybody's doing it, right? I don't know anybody
Right.
not using that crest. I don't know why they hate the genre. They hate the genre. They do. That's my hot take. Team Cherry fucking hates search action games. They think they're stupid. They think you're stupid for playing them.
Yeah, could be.
after this year, I expect to see Hollowknight like start to pop up and Metroidvania go away, because I think at a certain point this is going to be it, right? And people aren't, because you know my big tired argument against using the term Metroidvania is that until very recently you were referencing two game series that were dead. And then Metroid Dread came out, and it's like, okay, well, now the one of those two series has a relatively recent release that you can point to for people to explain what you're talking about.
Sure.
But otherwise, the last Castlevania in that format was on the fucking Nintendo DS. I don't count the Xbox Live Arcade one, because that's more of like a remix of previous levels with like a multiplayer component to it. It's not really like a traditional one.
Mm.
So that's my thing, but I have a feeling that Hollowknight is just going to delete the knowledge of the games that came before it at some point, and then it's just going to be this, and that's what people are going to start referring to them as.
Yeah, I play a lot of the genre. Like I seriously probably play 7 search action games a year, and I really do got to do better at using that phrase. But man, it's just so ingrained in me, you know. But
Yeah,
that's
no, I
easy.
get it.
I gotta think about the youths. I gotta think about the youths that haven't ever played a Castlevania
true.
game. Gotta
That's
think about
true.
my young audience. Yeah. So for
I mean, let's be fair. Like, video game genres are shitty, like kind of across the board. But I tend to not want to have to reference another game as the name of the genre for a game. I don't like roguelike either.
I mean, there's also Souls-like, which is kind of the same thing.
I also
too.
hate that
Yeah,
one.
I know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Death action RPG is what I like to use.
That's fun.
I know
it's
it's never
fun.
gonna
It's
get
never going to catch
traction.
on. Yeah.
it's
No,
not bad, but it is a bit long. But it's not
Yeah.
bad.
DARPG, DARPG.
Sure.
But yeah, you guys won't enjoy it. You guys won't enjoy it. But
No, I already
it-
knew that. That's why I didn't even bother.
if
Yeah.
I am enjoying it, and I really hope
Yeah.
to see it to completion, even though I hate it.
It's interesting though, because I feel like with all of the hype building up to it, I've noticed that I haven't seen the effusive, because you know my big issue, and it happens with almost every new game, where it's like you'll just see like, this is the best game I've ever played, and just effusive praise, and like people putting it in like their top 5 of all time, like before they even finish the
Yeah.
game. I've noticed that I have not seen a lot of that online. I've seen a lot of people into it, but I have not seen the instant classic, like,
Yeah.
you know, I can't, legendary game. Like that was Clair Obscure this year, right? That was the one where it was like everybody was just like over the moon for it. I feel that this one like really reality checked a lot of people.
Yeah, I even my kind of, you know, outside view of the whole thing was people were really excited when it got released. It obviously like, you know, shut down Steam and all that shit when it was coming out, the day it came out. But after that, it was just kind of like immediately like, this game's really hard. And I'm not sure it was a lot of people like kind of in that camp where they were just like, it didn't seem as like beginner friendly as Hollow Knight is. You know, love it or hate it, Julian. Like it's not like super hard, especially in the beginning. Like they kind of baby step you into a lot of the stuff that's going on. Where
It was a lot easier than I was expecting.
Right? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And when it comes to Silksong, I don't think it's definitely not holding your hand. It was meant to be DLC for one thing, so I understand what
and
they were
those
going
roots
for.
are still
Those
roots are still very much there.
very much
and
so.
And I understand that these guys were just like not paying attention to shit and just had their heads down. But when you make the decision to make a full blown sequel, maybe you rethink the on ramp of the game that you're making at that point.
Yeah,
But-
Well, it's an astute take because they did apparently patch the beginning of the game to make it a bit easier from what I read. So
interesting.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Interesting.
that might have just came out because my game did not quick resume today when I did it. So
yeah,
I believe that's out
Yeah.
now. So yeah, that won't compel you to play it. But
No.
I'm not big on the genre as it is, so yeah.
Uh-oh.
But it definitely seemed like the sentiment toward it was like, yeah, this game's really hard, and I had seen like a few people that like one particular take I remember was I really liked Hollowknight, but I'm not enjoying Silksong near as much because of the difficulty and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, well, and then now recently I haven't heard much about it at all until right now. So yeah.
I'll piggyback off of that real quick, simply because similar-ish genre. Because real quick, because I don't have much to say about this. I fired up Wanderstop again, and I started playing a little bit more of that because I was like, that's the next thing that I want to finish. And that game is like screaming at you. It's okay to take it slow. There's even a part where it's like, sometimes there's not going to be stuff to do. It's okay. Just sit tight and wait until other things happen. And my response to that was, I really want to play Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
Nice.
So I bought Shinobi Art of Vengeance. And right off the bat, it's interesting when you play a game where the demo is so different from the finished product because they wanted to give you a lot more of the toys.
Sure, yeah.
Like right up front, which was actually nice because I was like, man, they're really throwing a lot of stuff at me really quickly in this demo. And then sure enough, you're not supposed to get all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Obviously, comparisons to Ninja Gaiden Ragebound are going to be there.
Sure, yeah.
It is kind of funny that if you just are doing a bullet pointed list, they're almost the same game. It's like the first level, Ninja Village gets set on fire. You're fighting an evil corporation with military people. Even the way that the levels are laid out as far as the secrets is the same number of secrets almost in every level, are 1-to-1 between Ragebound and Shinobi.
Sure.
But the devil's in the details as far as the way that they approach things. So Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, the combat, the moment-to-moment combat is super easy. Most enemies get killed in one hit. And then the bigger enemies take multiple hits unless you have a charged attack and they also die in one hit. Because they really want you to be focusing on the platforming, and then the boss fights are where the challenge lie. Shinobi almost inverts it, where the moment-to-moment combat is very in-depth and crunchy.
Okay.
And then the bosses are kind of pushovers. And then the platforming is kind of splits the difference between Ragebound. It's not as crazy hard as Ragebound, but it is pretty precise in parts, especially in the hidden areas. And it's a gorgeous game. The hand-drawn art is just beautiful. The moveset is really fun. Joe Musashi feels perfect until he doesn't.
Sure.
And it's mainly aerial combat where he kind of gets a little bit out of control. And one of my big issues is eventually, sometimes if you fill up this execution bar. An enemy will get a character over their head, and you can do a one-hit kill on them and finish them off. And you really want to do that because that's how you get resources back. You'll get health back, you'll get kunai back, you'll get your rage meter back. You know, you'll have an enemy like falling off of a platform, right? And you do the execution, but he teleports down to kill them, but then doesn't return to where he was. So sometimes you'll be like, it's almost like a Looney Tunes situation where you're like, oh shit, there's no ground beneath me. I guess I just fall and take damage now. Awesome.
Good.
Or there's not really like iframes surrounding the animation. So you'll kill one enemy and then the other enemy that's right next to them will then fuck your shit up the second you get out of the animation. It's like, man, that's kind of weird. But I'm really enjoying it. The reason that I wanted to piggyback off of Silksong though is because it runs into the same issue that I had with the Messenger. Okay. Which is, so both Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden are level based. They're not contiguous maps. Right. But Shinobi's individual levels are kind of Metroid style, where there are areas that you can go explore, and there's places where you're incentivized to come back once you have an ability. And you know, you want to revisit the areas to you can't get everything in a level on your first go, which is fine. But I don't think pitfalls and Metroid style exploration fit together, because what ends up happening is you never really know, is this a trap actually, or is this a place that I can explore? Right? Yeah. So if you think back to like Metroid or Castlevania or most games in that ilk, they don't actually have bottomless pits that you can fall into. They're going to be filled with spikes or lava or some sort of hazard to let you know that you need to avoid this by jumping, but there's nothing like below it, right? Where here it's like there's just all sorts of places where you see the map, you look at the map and it's just like it kind of fades into blackness, and it's like I can't tell if it's fading into blackness because I haven't explored there yet, or because if I go try to jump down there I'm gonna take damage. Right. And it's a really shitty thing to do, like especially because then you get the games that would play with that, right? Where you would get into a room that has a bunch of lava pits in it, but then if you looked closely at the map, you'd see that the line in that room on the bottom of the floor wasn't all one line. You're like, wait a minute. Yeah. This connects to something else below it. And so then you start playing around with like what's going on in that room to try to find where's the spot that I can drop down. Right. And Shinobi doesn't do that. It's very annoying.
I got you. Yeah, that makes sense.
I saw that in reviews and I'm shocked they haven't fixed that in some capacity. I don't know, just an icon. I don't know. It's kind of wild. I've been really excited to play that one, but I remember hearing about that exact issue and I was like, ooh, that's kind of a rough one.
Yeah. I wish that they had picked a lane, because I do think that, especially the way that Lizard Cube kind of took the Shinobi basics and really buffed it up, it would work really well in just one massive map that you're exploring. And I kind of wish that they had picked a lane, either make it just like a super sweaty action platformer where you know that any time that you miss a jump, you're either taking damage or dying, or a fully explorable map that, you know, has all the trappings that you would expect from a search action game.
Wonder if it was like a search action game and then they went, maybe no, we should make it level based or something like that, kind of toward the end of it. Hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah. But I'm really digging it, and it's funny because they're also the ones who made Streets of Rage 4, which I really didn't like Streets of Rage 4 because I'm a huge beat 'em up fan, and I've been dying for the beat 'em up genre to evolve.
Sure.
And every time that somebody makes a new beat 'em up game, they kind of just do the same thing before, but prettier. And that's what I felt the Streets of Rage 4 was it's Streets of Rage, but prettier. Yeah. You didn't really add anything to the mix. And so it's funny here where it's like, oh, you might have added too much to the mix on Shinobi. Like, you've got a shit ton of moves. And the only other like kind of minor gripe I have, because I got used to it by this point, I'm about like 3.5 hours in or so. Initially, I've definitely felt like I was doing this weird like claw hand thing trying to make the moves work, because some of them are just like a little bit more work to get them off than you would want for a game of this speed and precision.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, I totally got used to it, but it's almost the opposite problem that I have with Ninja Gaiden. Because with Ninja Gaiden, I wanted like just a little bit more for the character to be able to do.
Mhm.
And then I think for Shinobi, I just want a little bit less.
Yeah.
For Joe Mushoshi to be able to do, because I'm still unlocking shit, and I'm like, God damn, I'm not going to remember how to do all of this stuff.
Always
in the middle
my
of
biggest
combat.
fear when they start adding moves and I'm like, I'm gonna be expected to remember this at some point, and I'm not going to, and it's just gonna be bad.
Yeah.
I think that's why I ended up. I remember playing. I never finished the original Bayonetta, because at some point I remember I stopped playing it for whatever reason, and then I came back like a week later, and I was at some part where I had to remember some move and I was like, I don't fucking remember how to do any of this shit. Oh man! And then I just put Bayonetta up forever.
Yeah.
That's always my greatest fear.
No, for sure. And it's funny because like, and it's my feeling with all like character action games is that, you know, and it took me a long time. It wasn't until I started writing for Pixelbit that I learned who the fans of character action games were.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, it's fighting game sickos.
It is, yeah, 100%.
And it's like you'll see people like labbing and they'll do these super elaborate combos. And I'm like, that dude's been dead like since hit number 8, and you're on hit number like 79 now.
Yeah, but what if?
And it's like,
but what
yeah,
if
that
we made
looks
it
really
cool?
cool. Yeah. And Shinobi's the same way, where it's like, because they'll allow you to just keep hitting the enemies as long as they're still in the air. And it's like, and I've seen combo videos of people doing like just the craziest shit,
Right.
and I'm like, but there's no point. Like,
Mhm.
these guys are dead, and even on a boss, like you're never going to be able to pull that off because the bosses are like huge enemies, so you can't actually manipulate them the same way that the regular enemies can be manipulated. And it's just like, yeah, okay, it's I mean, good for you.
They're
but
having a good time.
They are having a good time.
Yeah, and that's basically it.
Have you been having a good time, Weston, with other games? I'm sure you have.
Probably.
What a segue. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes
There
from
you
our
go.
podcast.
That's how you do it.
One frustrating thing about playing Silksong has been I've really wanted to play Shinobi. I was actually playing Ragebound, so I didn't want to play it. And then Silksong kind of came out, so then I don't want to play Silksong and Shinobi. Just feels like it could feel weird to switch between those two.
Sure.
And then the other game that
Based on what you've told me about Silksong and what I've felt about the controls of Shinobi, yeah, you probably should pick one of those.
Yeah, probably.
and I love to game hop, but sometimes it's just you can't hop between two specific games.
Yeah.
And then the other game I'm most interested in trying right now is probably Hell Is Us, but I don't want to play
Me too.
another game where I'm getting lost when I'm playing another game where I get lost. You know, it doesn't work. So Silksong's been really fucking me over. And then we got Hades 2 in like 2 weeks. So now I got to friggin' feel like I got to finish Silksong in 2 weeks. But
Right.
anyway, 2 game. I'm obviously I've been rotating through a lot. I have a lot I could talk about. I'll talk about 2 games that I think you guys might like.
Okay.
My first one, I just dropped my review for it today, is Eriksholm, The Stolen Dream. It's
Yes, I played the demo for that at Steam Next Fest.
okay. Is the demo just the opening? Yeah, it is. I played the demo too. Yeah, it's just the opening of the game.
Yeah.
Side note, save data did not carry over for me, so that was a friggin' nightmare. I mean, it was like 90 minutes lost, although doing it again probably took closer to 50 because I skipped a couple things, cutscenes and
Right.
such. But yeah, that was my worst nightmare come to life. But yeah, so I mean, it's funny actually because the demo I feel like isn't the game evolves over time because like that opening demo is I thought very exciting. You know, it's
Yeah.
a pure stealth game. It's all insta fail stealth, which I'll get to it, but I think even someone who doesn't like insta fail stealth can get through it and enjoy it. But yeah, that's more just sneaking around, but there's just like a lot of exciting scenarios thrown at you. It's very fast paced. As the game goes on, you get a second character. Well, you get an ability. Your main character gets a blowpipe so they can make guards unconscious, but very
Okay.
specific
Okay.
very specific rules. You can't be seen even a couple seconds after you shoot them, and no one can see any bodies. Otherwise, it's just game over. So you can't just cheese your
Right.
way through with the blowpipe.
Yeah.
Then you get a second.
Kind of like the the shivs in the first Last of Us, which were like kind of your get out of jail free card, but you only had like a very limited number of them that you could have. So you had to really like be judicious about it.
Right. But although this is where it gets more to kind of evolving to almost a different genre, in my opinion, because then you get a second character who just has the ability with a slingshot to knock out lights and distract foes. And as the game goes on, you realize this isn't really a stealth. I mean, every stealth game is inherently kind of a puzzle game, but this is like truly a puzzle game. Like there's one solution to pretty much every scenario the game puts you in, and you just got to kind of figure out the pathways. Oh, I gotta hit the slingshot on this bridge that'll distract them. Then I can sneak over here, and then when they come back, I can take this one out.
And it's turn based, right?
No, it's not turn based.
Not turn based. Okay.
Yeah, it's real time, but you flip it. Eventually, you flip between 3 different characters.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
That's neat.
And they all have they each have their own navigation thing. Like only one can swim, only one can climb pipes, only one can go through crates, and then one can take out enemies from behind. One uses the blowpipe. One uses the slingshot as distractions and to take out lights. So very specific solution. Like it's not like a stealth game where it's like usually, oh well, I did it this way, you did it that way. There's pretty much one solution to each scenario.
It's isometric The Lost Vikings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of into that.
Yeah. That's that. I guess I think I seen the camera and assumed it was turn based. So that makes sense.
The isometric perspective is definitely interesting. I know there's at least one other stealth game series like that. I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
That's like
it reminded me initially of Shadow Tactics, but Shadow Tactics is a much more combat focused game.
No, it's all insta fail. So but that's the thing, because it's more of a puzzle game. I don't feel like the insta fail is as frustrating because it's just like, oh well, I didn't solve the puzzle right. Let me figure out this puzzle this time. How's
checkpointing or like
no issue
quick save situation? Because that
checkpoints constantly. So every time
cool. Okay.
There was nothing where I was like, oh, I got to get through this all again. No, nothing crazy.
Right.
Story's really good. Like it starts out pretty interesting, and then actually a lot of politics and world building get involved. Right around, I think, where your demo stops, you meet the second character, which is Alva, who is like the main character, Hannah's like former mentor in crime, I guess you could say, because they obviously run some smuggling stuff. And man, they just have I say it's like probably my favorite chemistry this year. Like every interaction between them is so good. They're well voice acted. They just have like an interesting relationship. It's kind of combative, but then you can see the love they have for each other, even though they don't like admitting they have that love all the time. It's really cool. Said plot has some great moments. It just builds up and it gets a lot bigger than you'd expect. And then once you have 2, and then once you have 3, like the puzzles, stealth, whatever the puzzles, they really get good. There's some good stuff, but it was well balanced too. My only complaints was they don't outline enemies, and with the isometric camera, and especially in dark areas, it's really easy to miss enemies, and which is annoying.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then occasionally, like there might be a ladder or a door that it's kind of tough to see. Once again, probably because of the camera, and it's not like really highlighted that well.
Even like setting aside like difficulty, right? Like if the designers are like, no, we want to make it like challenging. It's like just from an accessibility standpoint, in that type of camera angle, and especially a game that's using a lot of light and dark, like you really want to be able to see that shit. There's been a lot of talk. I think you wrote about it last year, Westen. The fury over the yellow paint in games and blah blah blah. And it's like, I remember Resident Evil in 1996 making the stuff that you could get bright, flashy things that were standing out from the environment, so you knew that you could pick up the thing,
right? Because
otherwise you wouldn't know that you could pick up the thing. And it's like, it's always been like this, especially as games get more complex and higher fidelity with the graphics. It's like,
right.
It's
like when everything looks real, it's hard to know what's the thing that stands out from the environment.
Allowed to pick up. Yeah.
Well, the yellow paint discourse, I always like to make fun of, because in the end, all developers did was they made the paint white. Like the paint's all white now. That's the only change that's happened. So I guess people are happier with white paint over yellow paint.
Sure, why not?
Well, no, I think it's I think they hate it in general, but like I remember it was the yellow paint because of Resident Evil 4 remake, and it's like Resident Evil has always like pointed you in the direction of the shit that you need to get or that you can get.
And I think Rebirth had a little bit of that, and it was like, man, the original Final Fantasy VII could have used more yellow paint, actually.
Yeah. I mean, I went back and played like just the first level of it, and I was like, I know this by heart, and I still have to sometimes remember what the hell I can actually interact with. You can turn the little icons on, and that helps. But other than that, yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I played Final Fantasy IX for the first time in full. I had to like abandon it as a teen. Yeah, same shit, man. It's once in a while, it's just like, oh my god, what am I supposed to interact with right now? So yeah,
right.
I'm pro yellow paint. So yeah, they do have in Eriksholm, they do have like pipes and stuff that glow, but it's like a kind of faint glow. So once in a while, I felt like it didn't fully work. So those were my only real complaints. Couple trial and error things, because this is once again more of a puzzle game. It's very handcrafted. So in your average, like in Assassin's Creed or whatever, I know how enemies are going to react to everything.
Yeah,
in Eriksholm,
it kind of sounds like. Did you play what was that? I didn't like it in the end, but it was very popular, the rat game. A
Plague Tale. It does sound like that quite a bit.
Yeah. That was kind of like that, where like there was a lot of like you got to kind of figure out the puzzle to get through this part.
Yeah. I thought Plague Tale was okay. Funny enough,
it was okay.
Setting, it has that kind of setting. In fact, there's one of the basis points of the game is the heart pox that's going around. So there's an illness of sorts going around too. So yeah, same vibe. But yeah, I agree. Some of that too, like where it's you kind of got to see how the guards react, because they will react differently in different circumstances just based on how they made it. So yeah, but I like it a lot better than Plague Tale for sure. I wasn't a massive fan of that game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it blends everything well together. I think Julian has already played the demo. I think you guys would like it. So Eriksholm, Stolen Dream.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Only on PC right now, but I feel like I kind of want to see if they end up doing a console port, because I think I'd want to play it on a bigger screen than my Steam Deck. Although it did play just fine on the Steam Deck.
It was a great Steam Deck game. It says that it's available.
Ran really well.
Someone told me they thought the same thing, but then they looked and it's on consoles.
Well, let's look.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, let's look.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
okay,
PS5 and
check that out
Xbox.
sooner then.
Yeah. So the other
available on Xbox, and should be there.
Cool.
I guess the other complaint, it is $40, which is higher price point than usual for an indie game. Game's gorgeous. Uses on Unreal Engine 5. Very pretty. Cutscenes are fantastic, but for that price tag, I felt like there should have been a few more, because there's some pretty big plot moments that happen more in the in-game engine where there's like no facial expressions, and I'm like, oh man, this scene deserved a cutscene. It really did, but that's more of a nitpick, because it is great. I've also been playing Quartet. Have you guys?
Yeah.
Have you had this on your radar at all?
Quartet.
Yes, I mentioned it briefly last week because I had checked out the demo. Mainly, so I had seen a review from someone on YouTube that I trust as far when it comes to RPGs, and his praise combined with him saying that it was like a 20-hour RPG definitely put it on my radar. And then I tried the demo just to make sure there weren't any red flags, and I was like, no, this seems like kind of my jam. So it's on the list. I haven't picked it up yet, but it's something that I would like to try to get under my belt this year.
How does the demo work? Because in the game you have 4 characters. It's probably a good chunk of the game is the opening 4 chapters, which are the introduction chapters to each character, but you can pick them in any order. So does it give you one, or
you only they only let you pick one. You do the intro with like the Lufia style, like here's the heroes at the end of their journey type thing, and then you get to pick one character and then go through there. And I didn't get much further than picking that one character and kind of messing around with them a little bit, because I was like, okay, well, I can tell this is something that I want to play, and I probably don't want to pick this character first when I do play it.
Who did you pick?
I think he's like the warrior.
Okay.
He's
yeah,
like kind of brown coat.
That's a good one. That was one of the. Go ahead.
I was going to say I wanted to be like the merchant type guy, because it reminded me of Tornico from Dragon Quest 4. I think it was 4.
There's the merchant one is like the chapter that kind of slowed me down a little bit on the game. It just it's a little more generic, I felt, but I think so. I mean, so yeah, Quartet turn-based RPG, Octopath Traveler influences with separate characters comes together. So the first one I did was a Hook, and it is a very funny and weird chapter. But then like it slowly gets pretty damn serious, like masterfully done. Then I did the Warrior one. That one's really good too. Then I did the Shopkeeper, and that one was just kind of okay. I just started my fourth one, which is, I think you're a magic teacher of some sort. Seems okay so far. But yeah, I mean, I think the opening chapters have some varying qualities. So we'll see when everything comes together. But in terms of like, if I were just to compare it to Octopath Traveler, I'd say it's probably inferior in most ways. But the world building is way better than Octopath Traveler. Like they're really setting up a cool world. Like it's magic is like kind of political, and depending on what part of the world you're in, it's like kind of viewed in different ways and used in different ways. It's pretty interesting. Now I'm hoping that I'm hoping there's a codex or something at some point, because there's a lot of countries and you keep going in all these different places, and I'd kind of like to re-reference it, So I hope there's something like that, so you can kind of get caught up on the lore more, because there's a lot of stuff going on. But it's a very interesting world that they're setting up. No random battles, which I'm always a fan of. Battle system's okay. I feel like it's not Octopath Traveler. It's pretty basic overall, but they do give you more benefits to guarding than most RPGs, and basic attacks give you AP back, which is good. So it's passable in that way. But just the general setup and the world building and a couple pretty unique stories, I am enjoying it, although I'm not maybe as high as some on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. It's nice because it's like a small indie team, and it's like a $20 game, which is like like really cool. And again, short and sweet is kind of my thing this year, because mainly because I'm fucking running out of time, and I've only finished 6 games that came out in 2025.
Man, have that.
One of them being a remake. So
yeah.
Justin, what did you get up to?
Oh boy,
this week?
Let's see. I played a game called Heading Out, which is a video game you can play. It's
ringing endorsement from the State Select podcast.
Yeah. No, it's not bad. It's got a cool idea. It's like if Need for Speed, Most Wanted, or whatever the hell that one was, the ones where the cops chase you and stuff, was like a roguelite, and like it's kind of a cool idea. Like you're just driving a car, and you have to drive across the country, and stuff happens along the way. You got to get money, and if you speed throughout the country, the cops will come after you. Your wanted level goes away from state to state. People are challenging you to races all the time, because you're this like legendary driver, and there's like little radio broadcasts. It's a lot of stuff going on. But it's neat. Like the way it looks is like it's all in black and white kind of. I'm looking at it now because I thought that I had seen it, and I have definitely not seen this. This looks really cool. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool game. So I play it, like I said, the roguelite aspect of it is definitely there, but it's not like frustrating. You're not gonna do like 100 fucking runs of it. Once you kind of get the gist of how to get from point A to point B, you have to outrun this thing called the fear that's chasing you. I will not lie, like the narrative stuff going on is kind of like a little lame to me, but it's whatever. So you're running from the fear, and if it beats you to the city that you're trying to get to next, you'll fail the run. So you have to constantly be ahead of it. It's cool. Sometimes people will give you like delivery missions, and sometimes you will see where they want you to go, and you're like, you can go fuck yourself. There's just no way that's going to happen. But sometimes you're like, yeah, that's on my way there. I'll do that. It drives well, except for like you start unlocking cars after you complete one run, and it's like a shorter version of the game. Then it kind of keeps expanding out as you complete the runs, and you unlock cars every time. At least I have. The one car I unlocked was like the European car, and that car handled like absolute dog shit. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go back to the first car because that one felt good to actually drive, and I was right because then I beat the run with that. It's a neat idea. It really is. Like I said, the narrative stuff is kind of lame. A lot of the radio broadcasts on it are kind of lame, but like they all kind of have their own thing going on, which is, I guess, neat. Like there's a far right guy on the radio yelling about how much he hates you. But then there's like, you know, the weird girl, rebellious Rage Against the Machine girl, I don't know what the fuck her deal is, who likes you and thinks you're great. So there's that. But like it's got a lot of cool ideas. Like it's constantly charging you for gas depending on how fast you go through a territory or go from like a city to city. Mm-hmm. And you'll if you run out of money before you get to the next city, you'll get there and it'll be like, hey, you had to fill up your gas tank and run from the gas station, and now the cops are on you. So what are you going to do?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I remember watching you play the demo for that other driving run-based game, and that one was like way more punishing with that shit, where if you ran out of money, they were just like, well,
that's
fuck
it.
off,
you're done.
done.
No, this one you can still keep going. You have to just outdrive the police every time. And then once you make it to another state or like have a race and win that, then you're right back in the saddle most of the time. So like you can turn runs around really easily. Like I said, the failure part, once you get like what's going on and where you have to be at all times, and that like I said, it's run based, but like it's not like, oh shit, I've completely fucked this run up, I'm not gonna make it. Most of the time, as long as you can drive pretty decently, you're gonna be all right. Like and it's not super hard to drive good in that game, unless you're driving the European car. Then go fuck yourself, because you're just gonna crash every time there's a turn. But like the cop chases are kind of neat. Like they have little like detour sections that you can go off, and like it goes on like you're almost filling a stamp card on police chases. Like, so if you go off road, the stamp will go up because the cops lost you for a little bit. If you get a certain distance away, it'll fill up the stamp, and then once you fill all of them up, you've outrun the police. Or you can just like because it's song based, which is kind of cool. The soundtrack's not anything to write home about. I'm not going to sit here and act like it is.
Okay, I was about to ask.
Yeah, it's.
It looks like it should have a really banging soundtrack.
It looks like it should. There's like one song on it that I'm like, this one's pretty good, but all the rest of it, I'm kind of like, right. I don't think it's kind of bad. But like it's song based, so like all your races are like, be in the lead when this song ends, and I'm like, that's kind of a cool way to do that. Because it's just like assuming that you're all listening to the same radio station or something, which is a neat way to go. It's a neat game. Do I like it that much? I kind of got to like the last run, well, the second to last run I did, where I unlocked all the stuff, and I was kind of like, I've kind of completely lost interest in the plot here. And the last run I did was kind of a pain in the ass because I was just constantly having to outrun the cops and shit like that, and that might have been on me, but Like I just kind of got annoyed, and I was like, and then it was like, now you have to go all the way across the country, and I was like, I don't really feel like doing it. So I just kind of put it down. But it's not a bad game. It's it's neat for what it's doing, and it's worth checking out if you want a fun little run based driving game. I would definitely recommend it. But if you don't like driving games, then don't play it. And that's heading out.
Does the aesthetic get old at all, or is it stay pretty cool? Because it seems like cool, but I feel like after a few hours, it might kind of be like I've seen it all.
You kind of have, admittedly. That is kind of a thing, and it never got like super old to me. It just kind of got like, okay, this is the game. Like it's really cool at first, but at a certain point, you're just kind of like, all right, yeah, it's what it is. But that's kind of it. It's fine. Yeah. I think, like I said, my biggest issue was like some of the cars you unlocked were like just handled like shit compared to like the first car. The first car felt like it handled really well. It like you have to constantly manage like your focus, so you get little items that'll fill that stuff up. Also, you can rest for a certain amount of hours, but then the fear will catch up to you, so that's a risk reward type thing you're doing. If you run out of focus, it does the American Truck Simulator sleep thing to you, where like the screen starts to go black on you and come back up, and like all the music fades out in the background. I was like, that's kind of a neat little idea for that, actually. Because it makes the races like pretty hard. If you crash into stuff, like your car condition goes down, but like you have revives too. So if you completely fuck up, like you can hold a button in and it'll just like ghost you right back onto the track. You only have like 5. You have 5 of them per race too. It's not like a per run thing, it's pretty generous. Like I said,
that's a super generous run based game.
Very generous. Shocked. Like it really goes on like you're like it's not trying to like punish you for fucking up in the race. I mean, it will. You have to not fuck up super bad, but like it's not a punishing game. At least I don't think it is, especially for one of these, because I expected it to be like, I'm going to go through like one run and be like, okay, this is bullshit, and then just kind of give it up. But at least I tried. But I was like, no, this is pretty easy for the most part. It's actually pretty okay. It's more or less wanting you to, every time you get to a city, you can explore the city, and it'll have a little like story based thing, like, and like kind of like Slay the Spire type thing, where it's like, oh, there's this guy here and he has this, and do you want to do this, and all this other stuff. Like you have a fame level and a reputation, and I don't know exactly how some of that stuff plays up. Sometimes it gives you extra options in certain things, but I guess that would be another criticism I have, is like that stuff doesn't always feel like it matters, and by the time it does, you're almost done with the run anyway. So I don't know, it's kind of weird, but it's a cool idea. It's a very cool idea for a game. So yeah, heading out.
Yeah. Well, Weston, before we get back over to you, I just wanted to have closing thoughts, because I finished Metal Gear Solid Delta since last week. And it's funny because I was apparently like right towards the end before we recorded last week. And again, I had forgotten most of this game. That game, in my opinion, the pacing goes completely out the window in the last little stretch. And man, I would have been like way harsher last week if I had finished it, because when all was said and done, I was like, it's time to reevaluate my love of Hideo Kojima, because you know, as much as I love and respect him, and I've loved all of his games, as with most things, I've only played most of them once. Metal Gear Solid 1 is the only one of his games that I've played multiple times. Everything else, like Metal Gear Solid, actually the rest of them, I've only played to completion once. And even then, like, I do remember like parts of Metal Gear Solid 2, me thinking that's really stupid. And I didn't remember that from Metal Gear Solid 3, but now I can say that there is a lot of stuff in Metal Gear Solid 3 that is really stupid. And I think once you fight, because like basically I was right before the fight with Volgan.
Okay, yeah.
Who's like the leader of the whole operation. Everything from that fight to the end, I think, is just terribly paced. And there's a part where it's like, I had completely forgotten this. I was like, God damn it. Because I remember there being a really annoying escort mission part of Metal Gear Solid 2 that's like infamous. I had forgotten that there's one in Metal Gear Solid 3 towards the end that's worse. And I was like, God damn it, why is this here? This is completely fucking up like the climax of this story. And you just shoehorn some of the worst mechanics that you could, like here at the 0 hour. What are we doing here? And then for a game that's only, I think I finished it in 15 hours, which is like ridiculously short by 2025 standards. Average length by 2005 standards. Still somehow managed to outlast its welcome, where I was like, this needs to end. I need this to finish. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know how you do a non-lethal run, because the last stretch of the game is just so much of like you running from people on a motorcycle, and I don't know how you take care of them with your little trank gun that has like bullet drop on it in that high pace of a situation. I don't know what you do unless you can get through that without firing a shot, which seems kind of kind of pointless. If like you can get through that without actually firing back, that would be kind of weird. The final boss fight is still really good. Yeah. Because I think it is like one of those like classic things of utilize everything that you've learned through the game to fight this character. That stuff is good. I forgot how much I hated the cutscene when you beat that boss. Because I was just like rolling my eyes so hard. The ending is still hit really good. Yeah, it's a really excellent ending, and it kind of, I think it did everything it needed to do to establish how this character becomes who he is. I don't think we then needed 5 other fucking games to continue to explain that, but here we are. That's what we got. I think one prequel was fine. There's more games that star Naked Snake than star Solid Snake. And it's really doesn't. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, technically, the original Metal Gear is Solid Snake, I think, isn't it?
I'm talking about the Solid series.
Okay.
Like just taking the Solid series into account. You've got him in basically 3 games. Right. You got 1, 2, and 4. Sure. And then everything else, you've got 3, you've got Phantom Pain, you've got Ground Zeroes, you've got 2 portable ops. If you want to get really
technical about it, he's kind of barely in 2. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But between that and then really bouncing off of Death Stranding 2 from both a narrative and a gameplay perspective, I'm like, I think it's all up for reevaluation in my head. Because again, there was stuff that back in the day I was like, that's kind of dumb, right? Like that's a little lame. But I feel that now it's going to be like way more. I don't know. It like I said last week, it was like the glass shattering moment. For a How I Met Your Mother reference, just of like, oh, maybe this was always bad, and I don't know. It's definitely like it. I will say that it did make me want to like replay the rest of the games.
Sure.
So maybe during break I might because Metal Gear Solid 1 is pretty short.
Oh yeah.
And I know that game pretty well. And then it would be interesting to revisit 2 after all of these years, because like the last time I played it all the way, or the only time I played it all the way through was in 2001.
Right.
But like I said, even back then, I remember, like, I always reference it. Oh, because the last thing I wanted to say, Revolver Ocelot might be one of the worst, most convoluted characters ever written for a video game. And I had forgotten that it's even in that game, because my memory of him in 3 was just like, oh right, it's kind of cool to see him as like this brash,
And
like
that's always
kinda
been my memory too. But yeah,
asshole, like trying to prove himself, and it's like, oh no, you were always this, and it's like, why were you always this? It doesn't make any sense that you would be that when you're that. Oh god, yeah. Oh man. So that's all I have to say about Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Sure. I played a little bit more of it, but I can't remember why. I just kind of I beat the next boss, and then I got to the next area, and I was like, okay, and then I fell down a hole, and I was upset, and then I turned the game off, and I was like, I don't think I want to play this actually.
Yeah, that felt like one of those fuck you things that we were
really
talking about
did,
with
honest
the
to
bench
God.
in Silksong.
I know the checkpointing is pretty generous in that game, because all I had to do was go back through the area again, and it's, they're not that big or anything, but I was just still kind of like, I just don't want to do it right now. I really don't. I'm not in the mood to fall down fucking holes. I'm just not.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I get it. I think that might have been the end of a session for me also, that
because I was like, oh, I'm doing pretty good, and then just randomly fell down a fucking hole. I was like, are you fucking serious right now? I'm sure there's a way I could identify where the holes are, but
thermal goggles.
I think I missed them actually.
Oh
yeah. Where were?
Oh, so you fought the fear without the thermal goggles?
He wasn't that hard.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You can still see him. He's not slick.
Okay.
I'm guessing they were in the building where you had to dress as a scientist. That's where I'm guessing they were, and I just missed them.
No, I don't think so, because no. It's the building where the end comes out the first time, where they wheel him out and you can shoot him there.
I did that.
It's in that building.
Oh.
It's like, I think it's actually on the other side of that door.
Oh,
like if you, because I remembered like kind of going around a corner, I was like, oh shit, there's a thermal goggles, cool.
Oh,
and then I was really glad that I had
I guess
them.
I just missed them. Yeah. Oh, whoops.
Yeah.
Oh well.
That's like one of the next games I want to start, and you guys got me a little nervous, I guess, but we'll see.
Well-
Because I didn't like 3 when I played it originally, just because I loved 1 and 2, and I think just the new mechanics didn't mesh with me all that well. So I was like, oh, a remake, that's like probably the perfect way for me to play it. But
I think it will be, because if your issues were kind of like the camouflage stuff, which was like a lot of people's problems, and the like the cure stuff, it's a lot easier to mess with that stuff this time around. Like, it's a really smart way that they did that stuff, because I think, if memory serves, like, you could still use the D-pad to move in the original game, but on the remake they're just like, nah, the D-pad is for other things,
pretty much,
which makes sense. And that works really well. I do, like I said last week, I still think that I wish that they had gone further with remaking the mechanics, because there's just certain things about the way that Snake moves that are needlessly
clunky. Yeah.
But it is way better than the original, as far as like the way that it controls and moves. So I think you might end up coming away from it maybe more positive than me. I think for me, again, a big part of it was just like the dialogue, where I was like, oh, this is bad, actually. And again, I don't remember that from 1 or 2 or 4. Now, in my memory, 4 is my favorite of the series, but I could totally see a situation where I go back and play 4 and I'm like, oh, this is utter trash.
Right.
Because I know most people don't like 4.
Most people don't like it.
I remember at the time really enjoying like the way it kind of tied everything up and wrapped everything up, and it felt like a really good ending to that whole thing. But I could end up playing it again and be like, oh, this is all just the worst.
Yeah, right. Entirely possible.
I've got one last thing, Westen, but what else have you been up to?
I don't have a ton. I mean, obviously I have a lot, but I don't have a lot because I've been trying to focus on Silksong. But I guess I got like one level left, and is the seat taken? Have you guys seen anything on that game?
No.
Haven't even heard of that game.
Let's see. Let's look at that. Yeah.
It's got like this kind of cute hand-drawn art style. Basically, it's a game where there's all these cute little people that look like shapes, and you have to place them. Like say,
Oh wait, I saw
yeah,
I saw Hollowknight people playing this. Yes, okay. I just didn't know the name of it.
So, it's like it's a puzzle we all solve in our everyday lives. That's what I like about the game, right? It's if you walk into a restaurant and you are able to seat yourself, there's a calculus that goes on in your mind, like what is the ideal place for me to sit? Like you solve that puzzle
right.
all the time. You go to a crowded men's restroom, there's a few urinals open. Which urinal am I going to pick? I mean, that puzzle isn't in the game. But,
None of them.
I think it should be. But,
Take the stall every
that's
time.
the actual answer.
But yeah, so so you got to place all the people. It's kind of a neat, cute little puzzle game. It was a fun, short distraction.
Okay. I might check that out.
Yeah, actually, a cute little story attached to it too, with a nice little message. It does get a little annoying. I think in the second half, they could have used more level variety. Like sometimes they get weird with the levels, and I felt like they should have kept getting weird. Like there's, I think you do a movie theater level 3 times. You do like public transportation like 7 times. It's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each character has a lot of like every level has someone who hasn't showered, so there's like a little stink cloud above them, and then there's people that don't want to be next to someone stinky, right? So. Fair. Right.
Wait, important question though. Are there people that want to be next to someone stinky?
Well,
because I feel that should actually be a thing.
Kind of, because sometimes there's a stinky person, and it'll be like, oh, this person wants to be next to him, but it's more like they're friends, but he stinks,
Okay.
So it is what it is, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah, but so if someone doesn't want to. So if someone stinks, there's a stink cloud thing above them. If someone is talkative and wants to talk to somebody, there's a speech bubble above them.
Mhm.
But if there's a character that doesn't want to be around someone who talks or doesn't want to be around someone who smells bad, there's no indicator for that. So when you're placing everybody, there's like an annoying thing where you kind of got to keep rereading. Or by the time I'm like getting to my 12th or 13th person placed, like I'm just like, all right, I'm putting them here. Let's hope for the best, because I don't feel like rereading every description again to remember who the people are that don't want certain things. So let's hope this works out. So I think they could have used a few more visual indicators and said maybe just went a little crazier with the level design. But it is a fun little cute distraction. I think it's relatively cheap. I think it's like 6 or 7 hours. I got like 1 level left, so I've enjoyed it. Cool. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Oh, okay.
The State Select is made possible through the support and funding of viewers like you. Here are our wonderful patrons.
Well, Justin, before I get to my last thing, why don't we take a moment to thank our lovely patrons this week?
Okay. Yep.
We appreciate all of our lovely patrons, but every week we like to thank the executive producer tier. I did appreciate there was like a bunch of like updates to Patreon since the last episode, and one of the things I was like, man, I really need to like reorder like the list so it's not ABC order. I don't know how Patreon decided to sort the list now, but it's like a completely random thing. I was like, okay, that works. So this week we have Philip PK Becker,
we have Casey Curran,
we have Exrian,
we have Xavier Krager,
we have Stephen Lobo,
we have David Portnob,
we have Bookie,
we have Matt Jorgensen,
we have Dennis Robertson,
we have Raymond Crum,
we have Eric Peacock of the Soundtracker podcast,
we have Big Baker,
we have Game Johnson of Retrofits on YouTube,
we have 60, who is definitely the same 60 you've always known. I believe that.
They really want us to believe that.
No, I believe
This
it.
is the second time they told us.
Yeah.
We have Addy XD.
We have Dr. Delicious.
And last but not least, we have Bill Tucker of A Gamer Looks at 40, who should be on the show next week.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So last thing for me is actually a game that I just got today, but I've already put a good chunk of time into it. Pun intended.
Okay.
It is called Chrono Gear, Warden of Time. And it is a action platform game that is a fan-made game for HoloLive English Promise.
Fun.
And Westen, I apologize. This wasn't on purpose. It just happened that the game came out this week. Because for me to talk about like why this game is meaningful to me, I kind of have to do like a little bit of backstory. But the gist is, I thought that this was a search action game as well, but it is not. It is very much a level-based platform game, really. It reminds me a lot of more Super Nintendo style games where it's just like, hey, these are just like some fun levels. All the levels have like a theme to them, and they've got like some neat original mechanics to them. Like there's one where you're on a train and it's all like circus themed, and so there's a lot of like weird sleight of hand stuff going on in the level and like teleports and stuff like that. There was like a level where I was on horseback. There was like a really cool, actually one of the coolest levels I've seen so far takes place inside this giant hourglass filled with sand. Okay. Because the main character is the Warden of Time. And the puzzles of the level actually involve you flipping the hourglass over, and so it's almost like a mini version of the inverted castle from Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Pretty smartly designed level, and I've been very impressed with that. You play Oro Crony, who, as I said before, she's the Warden of Time in her lore. She's from the second generation of HoloLive English, and it's really well written, because VTubing is weird where you have like these characters that have backstory and lore, but then there's also a human being behind that character that has their own personality. And the way that those two things start to mesh over time, like kind of informs who the VTuber actually is. And the game really takes into account all of that. So Crony's whole thing is that, you know, she governs over time. Like her whole generation was, they each were aspects of parts of the universe. It was time, nature, civilization, space, and chaos. Part of their characters embody those traits, but then again, you have the person themselves. And Crony as a person is also like kind of like really into herself, and it's kind of, you know, partly a bit, partly kind of who she is. And they play on that here, where the whole thing is that she wanted to she tried to invent this thing to make her even more powerful and more great, because she wanted to be better than the rest of the people in her group. But the gears to this invention got shattered and are spread out all over the universe. So she's on a quest to go find them. Those are the MacGuffins that you're trying to get. And it's a solid little action platformer. I'm about 2-ish hours in. I beat the first world. I think there's 5 total or 6 total, I think. But the reason, like on its face, like I think it's a solid little game. Like I think if you don't know anything about HoloLive, you'll still have fun playing it. Like it's got some neat ideas. Crony, being a time-based character, has some cool abilities where she can do a stasis field around her that slows everything down that comes into that bubble. So you can use that to either solve puzzles or make combat easier, or make platforming easier. Because like if there's a platform that's like moving really fast, you can slow it down, jump onto it, and keep going. She can also speed up herself and that actually kind of trivializes some of the boss fights, because you can just like wail on them like before they can do anything. But you know, she's supposed to be a very powerful person, so it kind of plays into that. But the part of it for me that makes it like super important is like, so here's where I have to go into like a lot of the backstory. So like I said, they were the second generation of English HoloLive members to debut. There were 5 of them, and they were called HoloLive Council. They were the first generation on the English side to have someone quit and she quit pretty quickly. Her name was Sana. Like, I don't think she even made it a year. And it was like a pretty big blow to that group. But in the meantime, like in between the first and second generation, there was one girl that debuted named Iris, who was the Nephilim of Hope. And she was kind of like her own thing. I don't really understand like how she just kind of debuted on her own, because that's never happened since. But once Sana left, Iris came in to kind of fill her chair, and they changed the name to Council Riss. And they stayed that way for a while until finally they rebranded and called themselves Hololive Promise. In the last year, 2 more of that group have left. So of the original 6, there's now only 3 left. And one of the ones that left, Mume, it was like my first favorite. So it was like a pretty, like, it was pretty rough for me when she left last year. But this game has all of them together. And that's the part where it's like, I made a post on Blue Sky today, because I was like, oh, you know, other people are like, oh man, I cried so hard at the beginning of Expedition 33. And then I'm like, yeah, but look, it's all of Promise together. That's the thing that's getting me.
Sure.
It's just nice to see them all together. And obviously, as they were making this game, it's like a small team, but as they were making this game, you know, these graduations happen and everything. So there is part of like the dialogue where, you know, it's like, oh, it's good to see you again. And it's like, oh man, like it just hits like really hard. And like, like Chrono and Mume were like one of the, probably the first, like kind of, what do you call it? When you, well, I guess when you stand or like, is it stand?
Sure.
When you're trying to put together like people in like a relationship, when they're not really in a relationship. Ship, that's it. Yeah. Thank you. So they were like kind of the first like fan ship of like the whole thing. But they also, because they got, their chemistry was so good, and they got together, they got along so well, and their banter was really great. Right. And so like I started the game, do the tutorial, and like literally the tutorial is like Chrono and Mume, and it's like
Goodbye, Mume. I'm leaving you.
Where'd you go?
I said I was leaving you.
Wait, but I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for you to leave me. Please stay. Please, I'm not ready yet.
It's time to fly.
Please.
Like,
please don't end this here. I need you still. Where?
Okay.
I thought that if you want to leave, then doesn't it have to be
I'm here.
Democratic
I'm right
vote?
behind you. What do you mean democratic vote? There's only 2 of us here.
Yeah. So if you want to end, if you want it to end, then I have to agree. That's
what
the
if
rule,
I disagree?
Cody.
Then it's a tie.
Yeah. Well, then then nothing happens.
It's really well done, and like the writing is like really on point as far as like getting like the personalities of everybody and kind of the way that they interact with each other. I've also been pretty surprised that it's like there's been a lot of people from Hololive Indonesia in there so far, and some from Hololive Japan. So those are people that I'm not as well versed in, but the game's been really good about having like a codex that explains like some of the in-jokes that are going over my head.
Right.
I am kind of shocked how much of the in-jokes I am getting, because like I haven't been in it that long.
Yeah.
It's a really nifty little game, and I'm enjoying it, but I have a feeling, and actually I was talking to a fellow Hololive fan in the Discord, David Portnov, and I was like, I think this is going to get me all blubbery, and he was like, oh, it will. I'm like further than you are, and it already has. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting. But I find it also interesting that this group in particular, like, because there's a lot of Hololive fan games, but they also had someone make like a full-on like RPG with these characters.
Okay.
I just find it interesting that somehow they're the ones that get like a lot of the fan game treatment, but I guess it's because their lore and power sets are so interesting for backstory. So yeah, and maybe the tragedy of already having like one at that point with the RPG, there was only one person that was gone,
right?
So you know, it's a lot more interesting with like now half of them being gone,
right?
But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Cool. So I'll be finishing that as well. I'm hoping to probably plow through that and Shinobi by next week.
There you
'Cause
go.
they're both moving along pretty quickly.
Yeah, I ended up in a rabbit hole of there's a lot of hollow indie games, but this one seems
There's a lot of them.
seems by far
Yeah.
like the most. Look, it seems like the most well made of everything I'm looking at. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I look, they're all fan projects. It looks like, but yeah, this one seems a little more inventive than most. The others all seem kind of generic and kind of ugly. But this
Oh
one,
yeah.
this one actually has some like the trailers some interesting moments. So
Yeah, and they got they got Chrono to do a lot of like exclusive voice acting for the game, and then they're using just like I think like random clipped voice lines from some of the other people. And there's animated cutscenes. I'd say that's probably where the game looks the cheapest. But
okay.
again, it's a fan made
Yeah.
game. Like,
Yeah.
what do you expect?
What do you expect? Yeah.
And yeah, it's interesting because Hololive has they'll publish a lot of these games under their Hollow Indie brand, right? So they'll kind of help these like little like fan projects kind of get across the finish line, and it's like they kind of split the money and everything like that, because otherwise they couldn't really make money off of the games as a fan project. But it's also like it seems like there's a really big missed opportunity where I think that like they could make games with these characters and these talents, and I think they would be really popular. Like the two that come off the top of my head that I want the most, I would love a Buster Groove inspired game with all Hololive talent, where it's just like a really cool like dance rhythm game with
that would work actually. Yeah.
They could provide the mocap, so it's actually them doing the dances. They've already got their own music and stuff. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah.
And then there's a music video for a song called Q, done by Calliope Mori and Gargura, which there would be a problem with that now because Gura is gone. But
that's one of the upcoming games. Gargura, Quest for Bread.
really,
It's coming. It's just coming soon. But actually, it doesn't look terrible.
huh? It must be one of those things where they were like working on for a really long time, and like they're still going to put it out.
It visually looks a lot better than any of these other ones. So yeah, you should check that out.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah, I'll have to check that out. The music video is them fighting, and it's like they're leading like their legions of fans against each other in like almost like a gang war. But it's all based on like Devil May Cry designs, because they were both like big Devil May Cry fans, and
Yeah.
I was like, I would play a video game using these designs. Absolutely. Like it just looks so cool. And you already have like they do so much, you can get them to do voice line. Like I just think there's a lot of like missed opportunity there from like Cover Corp, like the actual company that employs them, where it's like you could go bigger with this stuff. You don't have to just publish these fan games. I think you could do like all these talent, they're big enough now that you could make a decent game that would sell a decent amount of money, provided that you're not like trying to do like some massive budget with it. Like obviously you want to scope it,
Right.
respectably, to where it. But yeah, that is Chrono Gear Warden of Time. Again, I think even if you're just completely oblivious to the Hololive stuff, it's a decent little action platformer. Maybe check out some YouTube videos and stuff like that and see what you think. It's not that pricey either. But other than that, I watched some movies. I'm getting into my spoopy mood. So
There you go.
I got an subscription to Shudder for a couple months, because the only other streaming service that I have is Hulu, and right now in September their offerings are not all that great. I think they usually wait until October to really like bump up the horror catalog on Hulu. So I ended up watching a movie that I always associate with the beginning of the pandemic, but I think it's because it's a 2019 movie, but I don't think I learned about it until we were in lockdown, and then I just never got around to watching it. It's called Ready or Not, and if you look it up, you will think that Margot Robbie is in it. She is not.
Okay.
The actress just looks a lot like Margot Robbie.
Okay, good.
If I had to describe it, if I had to give you like the elevator pitch, it's kind of like Tucker and Dale versus Evil meets Knives Out, because it's kind of a horror comedy, but you have that like it's set around like this really eccentric, super rich family like you have in Knives Out. So, and they're all like very waspy and eccentric and weird. Basically, the main character, she marries into the family, and their tradition is that anybody who marries into the family has to play a game at midnight, and they have to, because the family earned their money, or they became rich because of like board games.
Sure, okay.
The games, you have to, it's like random what you get. But sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the game that you play is hide and seek, and the hide and seek game is a death game where the family hunts down the new bride or groom, whoever's coming into the family, and has to murder them before sunrise.
Oh, okay.
Like you do.
As one does, yeah.
Yeah.
Who hasn't been there?
Yeah. But it was actually really good, good performances. I know a lot of listeners are fellow Letterkenny fans, and Mrs. McMurray has a big role in the movie, which was cool. I always like to see Letterkenny people show up elsewhere from Letterkenny. But I would say it's a fun romp that has some neat little ins and outs to it, and kind of wasn't what I was expecting, but quite entertaining.
Okay. I'll have to remember that one, actually. That sounds pretty good. Yeah.
And actually the next two, Justin, I think might be up your alley, because they're not jump scare based movies.
Sure.
So my thing, and it's funny because there was actually like someone that I'm mutuals with on Blue Sky who recommended one of the ones that I watched, because he basically said the same thing that I like to say, which is he prefers his horror movies where he actually gives a shit about the characters before things start to go bad. And that's me as well. Like, I don't really, if the characters are already shitty to begin with, or you don't give me enough time with them to care about them before things start going wrong, I'm kind of not all that invested.
Sure.
But also I prefer like paranormal and supernatural type stuff to like a slasher flick or like a monster movie or stuff like that. I mean, I can get behind those as well, but they're not my first choice for horror. And I ended up watching two like that. One of them called Ghost Stories, which I think is a British movie. It felt very British anyway. The only actor that I recognized was actually the guy who plays Watson in the Sherlock show from 10 plus years ago, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman, that's his name.
Okay.
He's also in the Hobbit movies. But it's about a debunker, like a professional debunker, who grew up in like a really dogmatic religious household that was very superstitious and kind of drilled that stuff into his head. But as a kid, he saw this debunker that kind of made him realize that, no, this stuff isn't real and you can kind of get yourself out of it. And not only did he get himself away from that situation, but he's made it like his career to, prove this stuff wrong and kind of like shatter the mystique for other people that are coming up like this. But that person that he grew up idolizing like disappeared one day, and he was like, oh, I always wish that I could have met him. Right. But he has like a TV show, he makes movies, and he also writes books and stuff like that. But then he gets contacted by that guy, and the guy is like, hey, I've seen your stuff, and your stuff sucks, you're full of shit. And I have these 3 cases here, because I was like you once, but I've got these 3 cases. I want you to investigate them, and you will come to the same conclusion that I did, which is that we've been wrong this whole time, and it's all real. Okay. And so then it's like almost like a little short story type thing where each of the cases is like a different thing. He goes to interview someone, they tell him what happened to them, and then it kind of culminates after that. And I'm not going to say much more than that, because it kind of goes in some interesting places, but it was like really chilling, really well shot, and not what I was expecting. And like I've said before, there's been like just some really good, surprising horror movies in the last like 5 or 6 years where people are doing like some new shit. And I kind of dig it. And then the other one that I watched was actually the one that mutual on Blue Sky recommended, called Oddity. And it's also a British movie now that I think about it. And it's like this couple, they're pretty well to do. The husband is a doctor that runs a like a psychiatric ward.
Sure.
And I think his wife is a photographer. And they've bought this like really old house. The house is kind of funny. I was like, why would you buy this house? Like, the layout it's like just like completely like square setup with like a square courtyard in the middle. Like, it looks like something from like the Middle Ages, but that's so not practical today. I don't know why you would want this, but anyway, his wife is brutally murdered as she's setting up the house because he works night shift. And then about a year later, her twin sister, who is blind and has like some sort of like psychic ability, who runs like this little cursed object type antique shop, she comes to visit the house, and then things go from there because she can see things, she can sense things, and she feels that her sister is still there. And also gonna leave it there. Because it goes to some cool places, but highly enjoyed both of them, and I recommend them both. And that was my week.
All right. I also watched movies. We've gotten into kind of a tradition around here of watching like a movie while we eat now, so it's just been like one movie per night for me. Let's see, what all did I watch? I took on your recommendation. I watched Late Night with the Devil. That was great. I loved that movie. That was really good.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed their dedication to keeping it like accurate to the time. Anyway,
yeah, I felt that you would appreciate that also, just because of the podcast that we do.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. Yeah, no, I really liked it. It was also like it was a little cheesy in spots, but like it was like it worked. Like, because I don't know, it was cool. That's a cool movie.
Yeah, I mean, the show that he's doing is
cheesy.
Cheesy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It totally works. It's really cool. Definitely, if you've never seen that one, check it out. It's really cool. It's not like, and I can watch it, and it's not like jump scary all the time or anything like that. It's just like slowly like building this unease of like what the hell is actually happening here. It's really cool.
Starring David Dastmalchian, your new M. Bison.
Yes. Yes, that was wild because I had seen. Okay, I watched 2 movies with him in it, and it was like right after that all got announced, which was funny. I remember looking at the cast and just kind of laughing as I went for the most part.
Yeah.
Fucking Cody Rhodes as Guile. What the hell, man? What are we doing?
I can see what they're going for most of the casting, and David Dastmalchian makes sense if you're trying to recreate that Raul Julia magic, but I would have liked someone a lot more imposing,
right,
to play M. Bison. You're not going to find anyone as ridiculously swole as M. Bison in the video game, but I would like someone that looks like he could fuck you up.
I really just hope it's like just kind of this like fun, cheesy little romp, kind of like the original was. Like,
I think it's going to be funner and cheesier.
Yeah, and that's cool. I kind of hope it just goes for that. That might be a good time.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember, and I didn't really know who he was, but I also watched a movie from I want to say it was 2013 or 2014. I can't remember. Called Prisoners. Has him in it, but he's kind of more of a minor role. Has Wolverine. Hugh Jackman has who's the other guy? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's like a mystery movie of some sort. Like, these kids go missing, and they're trying to hunt down where the kids went. and Hugh Jackman is very upset about it, and he takes the guy that he thinks did it as a prisoner to interrogate him himself because the police are not doing it. And it goes in kind of some directions. My biggest thing of that movie is I figured it out way too quick. It's because it's almost in the vein of like I'm trying. The one I kept coming to mind was The Bone Collector, which I haven't seen in years. But like it's one of those, like, all the little details and information matter. It's a detective type story thing going on, but they give away like one really vital piece of information a little too soon, and I was like, oh, okay, I know exactly what's going on, and I'm pretty sure this is the person that's doing it. And then when I ended up being right, I was like, yeah, I kind of figured that was gonna be the case.
You're really good about that stuff. I tend to somehow, I almost go head empty when I'm consuming media, and somehow I'm always like, oh. And it's like, I shouldn't be, but I always am.
I made this realization about myself actually recently. When I watch movies, I'm like that. When I play video games, my brain kind of shuts off a lot of the time. I don't know what it is. Like I can enjoy the ride on a video game a lot more than I can in a movie. Where in a movie, I'll just like I can just pick up on certain things. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Right.
Probably easier to notice stuff because you don't have to multitask and play it.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that was
you're not worrying about resource management or healing.
Exactly. I'm sitting here, and basically the movie is daring me to figure it out. So I will sometimes figure it out. I'm usually delighted when I can't figure it out.
Right.
But yeah, by all means, it was a good movie for the most part. I just figured it out kind of early, and it had enough to kind of throw me off the trail sometimes, where I was like, maybe I am wrong. I don't know. But then usually like another piece of information would come out. I'm like, I don't know though. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. But yeah, it was a decent movie.
I find it harder with horror movies because, as I've said, you never know what the rules are for that particular horror movie. You're trying to figure out like, okay, what flavor is this? Like what are we actually dealing with?
Right.
Where like a more traditional movie, it is a little easier to be like, well, this is the same rules as my world.
Right.
So
well, speaking of that, I also watched Weapons. Yeah. I liked that movie. That movie was quite good. That is one that, it's a lot of trying for like the entire like first half of the movie. You're just sitting there like, what is actually happening here? And it's kind of cool. I really liked the mystery of it. And then when you figure it out, and they kind of serve it to you on a platter at some point. They're like, okay, this is what's happening. You're like, oh, okay. All right, got it.
Yeah.
And then it kind of turns funnier than I thought it would be, and I kind of liked that about it. I kind of was like, oh, this is cool, actually. This is a neat take on this whole thing, actually.
A lot of people were really turned off by that, and I think it's one thing in particular, but I think that's really just meant to kind of blow off, because it's still a pretty like darkly tense thing that's happening,
right?
But that one thing is meant to be funny,
right?
And I think it works really well. I was kind of surprised that they explained so much of it. Like I kind of thought there would be like more left to your imagination when all was said and done.
There's a little bit of like questions that I still had at the end of it, which I'm pretty sure I was meant to have, I guess, but like, for the most part, like I said, I really liked it. Kim did not like it; she hated it. But
really,
I think,
did she think it was too silly?
Yes, she got to the end of it and was like, okay. She really liked the first half. Like we were both like really into it, and then when it kind of turned, she went, "Oh, this isn't what I wanted out of this." She wanted it to be like really scary, and me, I'm just sitting there like, oh, I'm way into this. This is great, actually. So like we very much differed, and I think it's one of those cases, as I've told her, I'm like, I think if you went back like a month or two from now and watched that again, with the like knowing what it is now, I think you would like it more than you did this time. I think it's the initial disappointment of it wasn't what you thought it was.
Yeah.
But that's what I liked about it, because I was like, oh man, this is gonna fucking be really tense and scary and all this shit. And then when it kind of wasn't, I was like, oh, okay, this is great. I like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still scary. Don't get me wrong, but you know, it was a good movie. I really liked it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you dug it.
Yeah.
You and I are like the same on that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I loved like what ultimately it was.
Yes.
I liked the payoff. Like it's a really good payoff.
It was.
At the end.
And it's like it was a different take on the genre that it ultimately ended up being. And I thought that was really cool, because that's a genre I really like. So I was like, oh, that's neat. I didn't see that coming. That's really cool. So yeah, I recommend it. Weapon's pretty good. What else did I watch? I watched the movie The Home. I don't recommend anybody really do that. It was fine. It starts Pete Davidson.
I'm out.
Yep. No, you should be. I will say this about it. I expected that the movie to be an absolute trash fire. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It actually was like sort of interesting in certain parts. Ultimately, the ending was going for Get Out really strong. Like I was like, I know what you're doing here, and that's fine. It wasn't as, like I said, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'll put it like that. You could do worse than that movie. And then what else did I watch? That might have been. Oh no, that's not it. I'm sorry. This was I knew I was saving something for last. Oh God, I watched the Crow, the 2024 Crow. I don't know why I did it, but I did.
Are you a fan of the original? Because I've never seen the original myself.
Okay, I am. It's a fun 90s goth movie. I also liked the graphic novel. It was fun. Well, it's not fun. It's kind of hard to explain. It's very goth. The entire thing is very goth. I mean, the guy has the makeup and all that shit, but like even in the graphic novel, like there was like poetry going on and all this other shit, but it had a vibe. Like it has a vibe, and the movie is kind of like it's the graphic novel, but it's kind of like its own take on it, and it works. It's really cool. Is it a perfect movie? No, not by any stretch, but for what it was at the time, it's cool. I do like the original. The new one, oh my God, it misses the point of all of it. I've never, it's too much for me to go into, because like I'm not gonna lie to you, Julian, this might be something that I have to do Cinemorons on, because I need to go into so much detail about all the problems I had with it. It's wild.
The fun thing about Cinemorons is that right now we're just like really having fun, like showing each other stuff that we enjoy. But at a certain point, one of us is going to choose violence.
I like, here's the thing. I just want to hate on something once on there. Like, I just want to go in just like, I have nothing nice to say about this movie, and this might be the one, but I want to pick it. I want to pick my own fucking fire. It'll be great. The Crow 2024. Oh my God. I know what they're going for at a certain point. There's a certain thing that I'm like, okay, you should have done more of this the entire movie, because eventually what it kind of boils down to is they're going for John Wick. Had I not seen John Wick as recently as I did, I would go, I don't know what you were trying to do there, but they're going for that. And there's something to that. It could work, but God, they just botch it at every fucking opportunity, except for like one scene. There's one scene in that movie that I'm like, okay, this is legit pretty cool. You should have done more of this. But God damn, what a shit show that movie is. God, The Crow, the original movie, and even kind of the comic book or the graphic novel, the original graphic novel, thrive on kind of the mystery as to why things are happening and why this person has this weird power all of a sudden. And you kind of just go, it just happened and it's kind of mysterious and it's mystical. Fucking shut up.
Yeah.
This one decides to go all in on the fucking lore, and I'm like, this is the wrong choice. This is not what you should do, because this just makes it sound stupid. And maybe it always was, but god damn, it just makes it's so much worse. And then at the end, I'm like, I've never seen something miss the point so hard as they do here. God, that movie got bad reviews, and I get it. It's a terrible film. If you don't think so, you can fight me about it.
Feels weird and kind of wrong. It's like a really. You sure you don't have more stuff, Westen? It feels weird, like because we just had like a couple comments, questions, and concerns, and then we're wrapping up. So
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, sometimes it's like that.
yeah.
sometimes it is.
Yeah, it's fine.
I haven't been game hopping quite as much
Yeah.
as usual the last month or so,
Yeah.
just because I keep ending up on games that I'm focused on. Because
Yeah.
like Silksong's the kind of game where it's like, dude, if I game hop, I'm gonna hate this game more. But you need
Right.
Silksong. You do need. I do feel like you need a game to kind of go on.
Yeah, or cool off from or whatever. Yeah.
Like, and I've been debating that game. So because I have my Steam Deck, but I don't have like another console game right now, and I don't know. Maybe it'll be Delta. Maybe Delta's the one, but
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah. Trying to think of like what would be a good like that you haven't already played, right? That would be like a good like companion piece to Silksong.
I want to play Hell Is Us, but it seems like a bad idea. Shinobi seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
That seems
It's unfortunate.
Shinobi especially because they're both 2D games and they have like a lot of like you need to know those controls in and out, and if you're getting those like crossed in your head, it's going to be a bad time.
Mildly interested in Chronos, but doesn't seem like a must play from what I've seen, so I'm not like
Yeah,
I don't know. It's tough. There's a lot to play, but sometimes there can be a paralysis because there's too much to play.
Yeah.
And I still want to go back and finish Pirate Yakuza and Avowed and
I
Doom
keep
the
telling
Dark
myself
Ages.
I'm gonna at least try those, and then there's a sick part of me that wants to try Borderlands.
Oh, that one's on
There's
my
a
radar
sick
too.
part of me that wants to know if it's any
It's
good.
sounding pretty good.
Yeah, I heard nothing but bad stuff from the PC side, but I wouldn't play it on PC this time because apparently it's like they didn't optimize that shit at all. That's fascinating, but God bless. But yeah, I don't know. I'm fascinated by it. Maybe I'll try it out, and then maybe I won't have to turn the sound off to play it this time. Maybe it'll be the one that I don't.
No, well that's the thing that I heard is that like apparently the story is like a lot more grounded and earnest with like just a little bit of humor here and there, but not.
At least they learned something, I guess. That's fair. Okay, maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, it sounds like they did not take the route that sounded worrisome, where they were like, "Oh, we're good. We should put a Hawk-Tuah gun in there."
Fucking double down on this shit. Yeah.
I think I've just with all there is to play. I think I've made the decision that I'm just not going back to Pirate Yakuza. I really wanted to, but
yeah,
I think I'm just I got to Hawaii in that game, and then I started doing the side stories. I'm like, fuck, man, all these side stories are like it's all the same story beats as Infinite Wealth. Like with the same characters.
Yeah.
It reminded me why I wasn't able to get through all the Yakuza games when I loved Zero and wanted to get through them all. And then I think by the time I got to Kiwami 2, I was like, I'm done.
Well, you mentioned that on your show, and you fell into the trap which is do not try to back that.
Yeah,
home.
that is. Yeah.
I'm good for 2 of those a year.
Yeah.
And because of their output, it's usually the new game. And then I had wanted to go back because I've only played all the way through Kiwami 2 and 6.
Right.
And then the newest ones. And I wanted to go back to 1 because I don't think you should start with 0. But they've been releasing games so quickly that I'm like, oh, never mind. I can barely keep up with like what's new.
Yeah.
I feel like it's an every other year Mac series for me, but that's just kind of how I operate anyway.
Sure.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I like man, the era where we were getting like 3-4 games from a series in one generation, I actually didn't like that.
Fair enough.
I burned out on a lot of series back in those days. So I kind of weirdly like the extended development windows, but I mean, it helps that we have way more indie games now that kind of bridge the gaps. So
yeah, I prefer, like, I do like, typically 3 games either in a series or from a developer in a generation. That's becoming less and less the case, although I really do think that a lot of Western developers need to be looking at Falcom and RGG and Capcom, because those 3 studios have released how many games since 2020?
Right.
Like, each. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, ignore the losers on Twitter that, oh, look at this reused asset. Like, no one gives a shit. Like, no one.
Yeah.
No
one
cares. It's smart. That's what it is. And like, for me, when I'm playing a Like a Dragon game, I'm like, oh, there's the bike heat action. I was waiting. That's the first bike heat action of the game.
Right.
Because I just love knocking that guy down, picking that bike up, and then just doing the belly flop with the bike for added oomph. It's like such a silly animation. I'm like, I look for it every time.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's good.
And the reused Hawaii, that didn't bother me at all in Pirate Yakuza. It was just, it was more the story beats.
Right.
Yeah, again, smart. I've been saying for years, actually, that because, movies, obviously, no one complains when a movie, it's like, oh, another movie set in New York City. Right. And but like with video games, it's like, oh, it has to be like a completely original environment every time. No, like, I think you don't want it to be like Final Fantasy X to X-2, where it's like, oh, this is just literally the same environment and like you didn't change anything, right? I mean, like,
they filmed how many X-Files episodes in the woods in Vancouver and nobody gave a shit. So
exactly,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's like, once you've built it, I mean, obviously you want to like change some stuff up and add some things and move some stuff around. But like, I heard people speculating about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, and my whole thing was like, they should be able to get that one out faster because they already made all of Midgar in the first game. The second game was most of the rest of the world. Yep. Like, I think the only thing you're really missing is Wutai.
Yeah.
And and the stuff that's left is mainly like, and Wutai is actually, it's no longer side content because Yuffie's part of the party.
I'd almost have to ask spoilers. Did they get to Medial in there?
No, okay. There's a few other places.
Right. I'm just,
but not large.
No, I'm not saying anything like that. But yeah.
I feel like
I'm just saying like environmental wise, right? Yeah. Like it's like the Northern Crater. It's Medial. It's Wutai. Wutai would probably be the most intensive thing they would have to build for the final part, and then a lot of the game takes place back in Midgar, and it's like that's already done.
Yeah.
So you'll have to make a few new areas within Midgar, but it's not going to be the entire thing all over again. And I think that's what the goal was. Is I think they were smartly looking more at like RGG, where it's like, yeah, if we build Midgar and we make a game set in Midgar, then that get and then when we come back here, it's like the work's already done for the most part, and people will be like, oh man, it's so cool to like revisit Midgar.
Right.
It's like and I do think with like the Like a Dragon series, it's like once they built Hawaii, we're going to get a couple games back to back set in Hawaii, probably. At least partially. And then maybe one day we'll go back to like Okinawa or something. Cause that environment, cause then you can start, cause that's the cool thing is they start to like pick and choose. You don't necessarily know where you're going to go for a particular game. And it's like, sometimes you don't go to Kamurocho, or if you do, it's like very little.
Right.
And me, I'm like, ooh, Sotenbori's back. 'Cause
Right.
I really like Sotenbori, but it's not in every game.
Right.
Well, that's exactly what Infinite Wealth plays into, right? It's going back to those locations is nostalgic, right? Like
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
you played it 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever. You're back in that location. You're like, oh man, like it feels like going back to a place you haven't been.
Right.
I moved from a town almost 4 years ago now, and like I haven't been back there in almost 2.5. And I know, like next year, I'm hoping to just visit again, and I know it's going to be like awesome. Like, it's like, oh man,
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that. Same thing. So
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, before we get out of here, I think we will address some comments, questions, or concerns, or CQC. If you have a comment, question, or concern, there are many ways to get at us. You can email us. The email address is thestageselectpod@gmail.com. You can comment on the show posts over on YouTube or Patreon, or I guess Spotify. I always forget about that.
Yeah.
Or you can join our Discord, and there is a channel in there for comments, questions, or concerns. We're going to start with Patreon, with one Xavier Krager, who says, "You guys did absolutely nothing. I recently got a job that involves being at a computer a lot, and between that and video games, I'm trying to minimize, if not completely eliminate, screen time beyond that. So I deleted pretty much everything off my phone that wasn't a direct communication app, and because I'm a child that cannot control myself, I left some of the communities I have been active in just to keep away from the temptation of reading and responding to everything. Still loving and listening to the show, though.
Fair.
I'm still taking it personally, but congratulations on the new job, Xavier." And then he follows up. He says, also, since you guys are low/out of CQC, are you guys doing any kind of costume for this upcoming Halloween? If not, what was the last costume that you remember wearing?
God. The answer is no for me. A big, huge no.
You strike me as a person who has never dressed up.
I have when I was a child, yes. But I've left childish things in the past.
Bullshit.
And take that, Halloween people. Last costume I remember wearing. Oh, I was a monster. That was the last one I remember wearing, and we made it. I bought a mask, like a weird mask, and my dad built like out of a big box, like this thing that I could wear to make me look taller, which was cool. And I had to look out the chest of the monster guy. That was what I remember. That's it. Yeah.
Weston, how about you?
I'm not planning on dressing up. My daughter's 3.5 years old now, and she's understands Halloween, and she's pretty jazzed up for it.
Yeah.
And she started making up, like, she's decided what everyone's going to be for Halloween.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, I'm going to be, princess. Mommy's going to be a skeleton," which she's worn a skeleton outfit before.
Sure.
And then she's like, "And Daddy's going to be a ghost." And then the other day I was like, I think Daddy's going to be Daddy for Halloween. And now she's been saying Daddy's going to be Daddy. So I'm like, nice.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Pulled
Nice.
it off.
Perfect. Nailed it.
I think I dressed up last in college at like 19, and that's about it.
Yeah. My last Halloween, because I mean, obviously, like growing up, I didn't have any costumes because that we didn't celebrate Halloween. And the last time I dressed up for Halloween is really embarrassing because it was for work, and I wore my Gryffindor student outfit.
Yeah.
Which,
Well,
it was a different time.
It was a different time, Julian.
She had not yet evolved.
It was
into the thing that she is now.
Yeah, it's a different time. What are you going to do?
But the last costume that I wore was actually a Han Solo costume because the last girlfriend that I had, it started with The Force Awakens because that was the year that my mom died, and it was like a really rough year. And I wanted to surprise my girlfriend at work. Like I actually arranged for like her manager to let her off early without her knowing.
Yeah.
And I got an Imperial Admiral outfit, and I basically I got them to, I used to work there, and so I got them to let me in.
Okay.
I changed in the bathroom and then played the Imperial March and escorted her out of her office. Like I told her she was like under arrest from the Empire. And so it started there. And then like every Star Wars movie after that, while we were dating, I surprised her with a different outfit. And the last one before we broke up was Solo.
Okay.
So I picked her up as Han Solo. And that's the last time that I've dressed up. So whenever Solo came out, I don't remember what year that was. It's probably 2018 or 2017.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I love dressing up. I just haven't had an occasion to do so. I've always said I wanted to like lose a bunch of weight and then cosplay as Agent 47 because I think he's one of the only people that I could actually like reasonably cosplay as.
Yeah, I can see it.
Definitely see it.
Moving on over to our Discord. Oh, we don't have that many actually.
That's two. That's good.
Yeah. This one comes to us from Dennis, who says, "Okay, guys, it's almost spooky season, so it's a good time for this question. What horror thing from any type of media scared you the most during your childhood? For example, the thing that scared me the most when I was young were wolves/werewolves. I mean, the 80s were damn chock full of them. I remember somehow seeing the ending of The Howling when I was young. Watching that reporter lady turn into a werewolf really freaked me out. Then there was the big black wolf from The Neverending Story. Ooh, yeah. Scary as all hell. Not to mention the dang last part of Thriller where MJ turned into a werewolf. So many more. They were just everywhere and totally scared me as a kid growing up. So what thing scared you guys the most?"
That's a good question.
I got an easy answer for me.
Okay, go ahead.
Large Marge in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Okay. Didn't
me.
Like it. Interesting.
No.
Interesting.
Was not expecting that. Had nightmares for years. Oh, and the other one. Y'all probably don't know this because y'all are younger than me.
Sure.
There was a sci-fi mini-series in the 80s called V.
Okay.
Where it was like lizard people masquerading as humans. And when they would transform, it was horrific.
Okay.
And it was like a television miniseries.
I was going to say, didn't they remake it at some point?
At some point they did.
Yeah, because
that thing scared me so badly that even the letter V fucked me up for a while as a kid.
That's something.
Yeah.
Let's see. For me, does it have to be a movie thing?
No.
Okay.
Just whatever. Whatever scared you as a kid.
Mine was the one that got me was okay. Do you remember the television show Unsolved Mysteries?
Yes.
Okay. They used to have on Unsolved Mysteries bits about like alien abductions. And so I watched one of those as a kid, and that shit fucked me up, man. I was terrified. Like I would like look out my window and be like, "Oh man, they could just get me from right here. This is not good.
Yeah.
I need to do something about this. I need to prevent these aliens." Did not like it. It lasted so long that when the movie Signs came out, it especially fucked me up, man. I hate that movie to this day.
Oh man, the footage of that birthday party is still like one of the most chilling bits in a movie I've ever seen.
Terrifying. Yeah, that shit fucked me up. That entire movie. I mean, the ending of it's terrible, but everything up to that is great. Yeah. I to this day I don't like the like concept of like the little green man alien thing. There are some cute depictions of it, but like the realistic version of it always fucks with me because mostly stems from Unsolved Mysteries, like people's like weird drawings that they made and all this shit, and I was like, oh my god, this is that got me.
Yeah. Hard mode, bro, Westen. I'm sure there's nothing that shook you as a child, but
it's bad because I really can't think of much entertainment wise. Like my fears. I mean, I didn't really consume a lot of horror or anything that probably would scare me. I mean, existential things are always the things that scared me the most. So I wasn't really related to anything though. So I was always very scared of the Pistons or the Lions losing though as a kid, which happens a lot.
Yeah, that is terrifying. Terrifying
Yes.
proposition.
Oh God, don't do it. But yep, it would happen.
Yeah.
Last from the Discord from Mike Fallick. Question: do y'all know Marcus?
No. Who the fuck is Marcus? I don't know who that is.
Marcus Phoenix, the main character of the Gears of War
Oh.
series. That's the Marcus I know.
I don't know him personally.
No, I don't know what that was supposed to mean.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was a thing that I was. that we're
Yeah.
supposed to know.
If it's a bit, I don't know. It's a bit.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Next time he's on, he'll reveal it. Can't wait.
Maybe. Or he'll
Maybe.
forget about it.
Or it'll be forgotten about.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
No, Mike's always
It'll
planning
definitely be
stuff.
that because my memory is terrible.
Yeah.
And Justin's is worse.
It comes back and forth. It depends, It depends.
Yeah. Correction. My overall memory is terrible.
Yeah.
Justin's show memory is bad.
My show, I don't remember anything I've said on almost any podcast ever, and it's great. It's freeing. It really
Does
is
sound
freeing. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Sometimes I remember things, and those are usually the things I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that, but then I said it. Those are the only ones I remember because that's me. But yeah, no, other than that, I remember stuff, and I don't remember like every like detail of stories of stuff. But usually, if I'm watching it, I will or playing it or something like that, I will remember. I will like hit a point and go, oh right, and then this and this happens. God, I remember this. Yeah, it doesn't matter how long ago it's been, but yeah, it sometimes it takes me a bit.
Yeah, I have that famous, my famous weird video game brain where I remember video game stuff intently.
Right.
And that was what made Metal Gear Delta so weird. Because I was like, I don't remember any of this shit.
Right.
And normally, like that stuff, like even I would have figured like once I started to see it, I'd be like, oh right, and then this, and this, and I was like, I have no memory of this place.
Right.
I have
Yeah.
no idea where this is going. It was
It
weird.
It happens.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a show,
That's
Justin.
I almost said that's a television show. It's not a television show. It's a podcast.
That pretends to be a television show.
Yeah,
so
sometimes.
it's fine.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. Westen, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you, Weston. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always fun. I'm highly anticipating being back for the next one because that's the
Absolutely.
good stuff. That's the good stuff. Next one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Next time we talk to Weston will be for Game of the Year, which I'm low-key dreading simply because I haven't played much this. Well, that's not true. I've played a lot. I haven't finished much
That's
this
fair.
year. Big distinction.
Yeah.
But Weston, obviously I'll have the link to the episode in the show notes, but let the people know where to find you and stuff that you are working on and to look forward to and whatnot.
Yeah, bignerdgaming.com. Said YouTube and Spotify, working on more platforms for the podcast. Mostly post on Blue Sky under Big Nerd Gaming, but I'm on all the platforms to at least post my content. And yeah, I think this week, I think I'm going to do my top 10 Game Boy Advance games, which
There you go.
Ooh.
honestly, kind of a mediocre list, but I'm not that passionate about the Game Boy Advance actually, but I'm trying to.
Oh man,
I'm trying to get through every console, so or that I've
such a
owned.
great library.
It's good. It's just like there's a lot of rehash stuff and remasters that I don't really count, So
Yeah, that's
Oh, I'm not even talking. No, like I mean like original stuff and also like oddly good licensed games on there.
yeah,
Like
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We just talked about that not too long ago, I remember.
yeah.
Yeah.
so yeah, I might do that, and then maybe a review for the Rogue Prince of Persia, which I beat a few weeks
Oh, there
back.
you go.
Pretty good game. Pretty good
Hmm.
game.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks to the wonderful Megan McDuffie for our theme song and interstitial tracks. Thanks to friend of the show, John Gholson, for being our announcer and providing us with our logo and artwork. I posted in our Discord, but his movie Fuck My Son is apparently X-rated. And like the people making it are basically like it's almost like a protest film where they're like, yeah, like we're not looking to get on streaming services or shit. Like, if we can get it running at like midnight showings, like, you know, over the next few years, and like, you know, special theaters, like that'll be good enough for us. And it's like, man, it's going to be something crazy if like someone that I know ends up in one of those like cult classic movies that people are talking about for like the next 50 years. Could be. That's going to be some crazy shit, man.
Be interesting.
Excited for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is going to do it for this episode of the Stage Select. I've been Julian Titus. He's been Justin Ham. Special thanks to Westen at Big Nerd Gaming. Go check out the first episode of the podcast. We've been the Stage Select. Signing off.
The Stage Select is copyrighted and owned by Space Monkey Mafia Productions, specializing in independent podcasting. Please consider sharing the show with your friends and support us by joining our Patreon or donating to our coffee. Thank you, and good night.